Hey guys, how are you all? Welcome to Let's Start Story on What If Deku Became the Most Popular Student at an All-Girls UA. So do 4 blue hearts, comment, be sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video, and please share with your friends and watch till end. Also check out Patreon for I have upload Izuku X Momo uncensored spicy version, link in description.
Izuku Midoriya enrolls at UA, only to discover he's the only male student in a school full of powerful heroines. How will he navigate hero training, friendships, and unexpected attention in this unique scenario? But before we start, if you want more stuff like this, then be sure to subscribe and like this video. And if possible, share this video with your friends. Now let's start the story. I can't believe I'm here. Midoriya Izuku stare at UA High School in awe. He feel like it's a dream at this moment. It only has been a couple months after he received the result of his exam, and he really can't wait to start his first day in heroic courses. Izuku, over here. The said boy turned to the voice to see Itsuka waving at him with a smile. Kendo. Izuku rushed up to his childhood friend. I can't believe we're finally in same school, but not just any schools. It's UA. One of the best heroic schools in the world, and where All Might went to among the pro heroes like Endeavor, Best Jeanist, Midnight, Lunch Rush. Yeah, Itsuka chuckled as her friend started to muttering rapidly, and she studied his appearance. They both wear their UA uniform. Itsuka can't believe that her best friend passed the exam, but what she can't believe is that he now have a quirk. It was so sudden and very odd when she find out. She can remember it as if it was yesterday. You have a quirk? She stared at fidgeting boy with widened eyes and raising eyebrow. How is that possible? I mean, all of sudden, your quirk manifested just right before the exam after all these years. Why yeah, it turn out I'm a late bloomer. Izuku laughed nervously with small sweats. They said that I'm one of some rare cases. That's so. Itsuka hummed with arched eyebrow, and the timid boy nodded rapidly. Itsuka decided to let it slip in the end. It's possible that Izuku was one of these rare late bloomer cases, but it's still odd to her. Her eyes gaze at the mumbling boy before she nudges his shoulder with hers. Come on, Izuku, we gotta go to our class. Oh, right. Izuku's eyes lit up as they enter the building. I need to check my. No need, I already checked yours out when I got mine. Itsuka smirked. We're both in class 1A. Really? Midoriya blinked before a small smile appears on his face. That's great. I was so nervous that I'm going to be in class with people I don't know. But you're still nervous. Kendo stared at his trembling shoulders with a smile. Don't worry, Izuku, you'll be fine. I'm not sure. Izuku gulped nervously until they reached their classroom's door, and his eyes widened at the sight. Whoa, it's so big. Do you think they put it there for students with gigantification quirk or mutant type? Maybe it's for some teachers with these quirks. Does that mean MT Lady went here before, or will she? Izuku. Itsuka tapped his shoulder, snapping him out before he can go into another mumble mode. Oh, sorry. He laughed nervously before he grabs the door. I hope Kachan and this guy are not in class with me. He remembers these embarrassing moments when a tall, robust student call him out in front of audience and applicants. Izuku take a deep breath before he slide it open, and his face paled as soon as he see Katsuki sitting in her desk. She wears a female uniform with biker short, and her jacket was hanging over the head of chair. Deku. Katsuki's eyes hardened at the sight of quirkless boy. What the F*** are you doing here? Ka. Izuku stammered before Itsuka gently pushed him away from the fuming girl. Come on, Izuku, let's pick our seats. Kendo said. Oh, okay. He gulped nervously. He can feel Katsuki's glare drilling into the back of his head, and he scanned the classroom. Most desks were empty beside few students who have claimed their seats from the beginning. He decided to take an empty desk in the middle before he noticed that he was sitting next to a girl at his left side, and his green eyes glance up and down her appearance. She have a slightly curvy body with D-cup and unique shoulder-length hair, divided with 2 colors evenly, white hair on left side and red hair on right side. He also noticed that she possessed heterochromia eyes, turquoise left eye and gray right eye, and she have a burn scar over her left eye. The girl's head turned to him slightly with blank expression and Izuku swiftly look away from her with red face. Did I stare too much? Does she think I'm weirdo? Way to go, Izuku, you make yourself weirdo on first day. He trembles in his seat as the girl turn her eyes away from him and Kendo sit next to him at his right side. Hello, Itsuka. The said girl looked up to see a girl with shoulder-length, bob-cut dark hair and neutral expression. Yui. Itsuka stood up to give her a hug with a grin. I don't know you're in my class too. The girl, Yui, nod her head before Itsuka realized something. Oh, Izuku, that is Kodai Yui, my friend from my middle school. Yui, that is Midoriya Izuku, he's my childhood friend. It's nice to meet you, Midoriya-san. Yui said quietly, dipping her head in bow and her eyebrow raised slightly when Izuku frozen up with widened eyes and red face. I'm talking to another girl. Izuku blushed. Izuku is very shy around strangers. Kendo laughed sheepishly. Give him some time and he'll open up to you. She paused for a moment, I think. Ah, I see. Yui tilted her head at her friend. Ah, it's you, curly hair kid. Izuku nearly jumped out of his skin when he heard someone speak up behind him and he looked up to see a familiar face. It was this nice girl he met during the entry exam, who has persuading a teacher to give him some points for saving her life. Glad I found you. She swung her fist up and down animatedly. You made it, just like Present Mike said. Yay, you go. By the way, that punch was out of this world. No, it's not like that. Izuku tried to hide his red face with his arms and his voice slowly fade lowly with stutters and mutters. You know each other. Itsuka looked between them curiously. We just met during the exam and he saved me from 0-point robot with a super punch. The girl smiled beamingly. Oh, I'm Uraraka Ochako. I'm Kendo Itsuka, she's Kodai Yui and that is Midoriya Izuku. Kendo introduced them as the blushing boy kept mumbling away behind his arms and Katsuki glanced over her shoulders with deep glare before she looked away with an angry scoff. F******** ing bitches, F******* ing Deku. Katsuki tapped her fingers on desk before her eyes sharply turned to the opening door to see another student walk in. F******* ing extras, more students enter and the cussing girl just kept swearing inside her head, insulting every face that enters the classroom. It don't take long enough until the seats were filled and the violent girl just grumbled to herself for few minutes until she realized something. Hold the ****** damn phone. Katsuki sharply looked at her right side. She see bitches, her head shifted to left side. More bitches. Slowly, she turned to look back and at Izuku as he sits straight rigidly with paled red face. It turned out that Midoriya Izuku is the only male student in the classroom, surrounding by female students. What the F***? Am I in wrong classroom? Izuku sweated rapidly with darting eyes and some female students have different expression from blank to puzzled. The boy turns his head to Itsuka and she just shrugs her shoulder at him, equally confusing. The door slide open as soon as the bell ring and they witness a strange sight of a scruffy man crawling into the classroom, wrapped up in a sleeping bag. All right, quiet down. The man slowly shrugs his sleeping bag off with a grumpy expression as his eyes scan the classroom. You all lacking in common sense. I'm your substitute teacher, Aizawa Shota. Your homeroom teacher is out, due to an injury, and won't be back for few days. He appeared to be very annoying as he reached into his sleeping bag before he pulled a gym uniform out. Wear these immediately, and then shove off to the PE ground. He was about to leave the room but Katsuki smashed her hand on the desk. Hold on. Katsuki jabbed her thumb over her shoulder at Izuku. Why the F**** is he in this damn class? There are too many damn bitches. What the hell? Don't ask me. Aizawa trudged out with a drawl. Take it up with the principal. But he'll just laugh it off. So save your time. The students really don't know what to do, expect to obey him and went to their changing rooms. Yagi Toshinori gave out a heavy sigh in his chair within a teacher's office. He just get a wind of Aizawa substituting in for Midoriya's homeroom class and he become very concerned about the boy because Aizawa have a tendency to expel whole class every year, even he had expelled 2 classes that he wasn't in charge of. Yagi picks a class roster up with another sigh and he opened the first page to see a profile of Midoriya Izuku. Reading it, then he flip it over to read another profile. He flips again, then flips again, and again as his eyes slowly widen comically. Holy crap, maybe it wouldn't hurt to spy on Midoriya today. A quirk apprehension test. Izuku gulped while the students stared at Aizawa with different reacts from confusing to nervous. What about the ceremony? Uraraka asked worriedly, and the guidance counselor meeting. If you want to be heroes, we don't have time for frilly niceties. Aizawa muttered before he glanced over his shoulder at the students. You all understand the school's reputation for freedom on campus. Well, that freedom goes for senseis, too. Some students gulped quietly as he lists some physical activities from softball pitch to sideway jumps. These are all activities you know from middle school, naturally. Physical tests where you were barred from using your quirks. The country still hasn't gotten around to standardizing those sorts of records or keeping track of average performance levels. He shrugged lightly. Well, that's negligence on the part of Next. His droopy eyes land on a face. Bakugo, how far could you pitch a softball in middle school? 67 meters. Katsuki frowned. Trying using your quirk this time around. Aizawa gestured at pitching field as he tossed an ball over to her. As long as you don't exit the circle, anything you do is fine, don't hold back. The violent girl stretch her arms out with a tiny grin before she draw her arm back, then she swing it forward harder as much as she can, shooting the ball up with her explosive quirk. Deeie. Her voice roared over her explosives. Die. Almost everyone stare at her blankly. Before anything else, one must know what they're capable of. Aizawa checked the measuring tool in his hand as few beeps went off before he showed it to them, revealing 705.2 meters. This is a ration metric that will form the basis of your hero foundation. This is all so sudden, Izuku shivered. Awesome. A pink-skinned girl with unique appearance bouncing on her heels with wide grin. We can really use our quirks now. A girl with dark green wavy hair grinned. That's the department of heroic for you. It looks fun, you say. Aizawa dipped his head down eerily. So you were planning to spend your 3 years here having a good old time. What happened to becoming heroes? His eye peeks out under his messy hair. All right then. In that case, new rule, the student who ranks last in total points will be judged, hopeless, and instantly expelled. Fa. Izuku's eyes widened among some students before his hand clenches. I can't adjust one for all yet. Finally, Bakugo's eyes sharply zoomed onto the green-haired boy with a maniacal smirk. She can't wait for the trails to be over and see this quirkless boy expelled from this school. Our freedom means we dispense with students as we please. Aizawa run his right hand through his hair with an evil smirk. Welcome to the Department of Heroics. The kid who ranks last gets expelled. Ochako gasped. This is our first day here. But even if it weren't, that's just too unreasonable. Natural disasters, massive accidents, ego-mad villains, all kinds of calamities can happen when we least expect them. Aizawa messed his hair up. Japan's now positively drenched in unreasonable. And it's our job as heroes to reverse it all and restore reason. If you were counting on a friendly chat at the local McDonald's after school, that's too bad. From now on, for the next 3 years, all you can expect from your life at UA is one hardship after the next. He smirked arrogantly. This is plus ultra. I expect you to overcome these trials and climb to the top. He gazed at the students in front of him, making sure it gets through to their heads. Now then, that was the demonstration. Time to step up to the plate. What am I gonna do? Izuku sweated as the students start their trails and everything become blurry in his eyes. He recently obtained one for all quirk and he barely have any control over it, a fact that caused him to fall behind in several trails from running meters, and before he know it, they were doing softball pitch, their 5th pitch. This isn't looking good. Izuku panicked within his head. I can't work out how to do it with so little time. Everybody else has had at least one trail they excelled at. Now all that's left after this is the endurance run, the toe touch thing and upper body exercises. If I'm going to grab a high score, it's now or never. He watched Ochako send her ball up in air, earning infinity score, and it was his turn now. Because at this rate, I'm going to be dead last. Midoriya's not doing too well, is he? Yui glanced at Itsuka and the orange-haired girl looked at Midoriya worriedly. Of course not. Katsuki crossed her arms with a bark. He's a quirkless F******** ing guppy. Quirkless. Ochako tilted her head with a blink. Didn't you see what he did at the entrance exam? Ha! The violent girl glared at her. Here I go. Izuku took a deep breath before he draw his arm back, active his quirk across his rearing arm, then he throw the ball forward, only to have it landing 46 meters away. Wah! The nerd blinked rapidly at his hands. I tried using it for sure just now. I erased your quirk. Aizawa suddenly spoke up to get his attention. It defies reason. How did somebody like you manage to enter this academy? You erased it. Izuku slowly gasped in realization, and those goggles. Oh my god, you're the erasing hero, Eraserhead. Eraser who? Someone whispered in background. Never heard of him. Must be an underground hero. Someone else suggested. From what I observed, Aizawa walked up to Izuku with narrowed eyes. You can't rein in your quirk's full power. Meaning you can't use it efficiently at all. Did you believe someone would come save you after you crippled yourself again? And no, I didn't. Midoriya stuttered before Aizawa suddenly pulled him in closer with his scarves. Whatever hopes you may have nursed of your imminent rescue, as you can see, nobody is in position to come to your aid. There's a certain insufferable hero who made a name for himself rescuing over 1,000 innocents from a disaster all by himself. You have his brute courage, but all you'll manage to do is run around like a blockhead who needs saving himself. Face it, your power won't help you become a hero, Midoriya Izuku. Aizawa stared at him sternly before he exhaled out. I gave you back your quirk, try the ball pitch a second time. Let's get this over with. Izuku slowly returned to the circle, then he started to mumble under his breath while some students whisper to each other behind his back. I still can't adjust my power output. Can I stake my chances at adjusting it on this one pitch? No, it's as All Might told me. I can't get it down in a short span of time. Arg, he reared his arm back. Well, if that's the case, then nothing for it. Full power. Probability 0. Aizawa drawled to himself as the boy's hands swing upward in arc. Not yet, Izuku muttered, catching the substitute teacher's attention as his swing reached the top. Not yet. The ball slowly leave his hand until it only touched his index finger. Not yet. The ball was at the tip of his index finger and the boy quickly conquered one for all within the index finger. Now. Smash. The ball suddenly flew into the skyline with a sonic boom and Aizawa slowly bring the measuring tool up. He didn't just pitch at full power. Aizawa stared at the score, 705.3 meters. He concentrated his power into the tip of his finger. Sensei. The nerd turned to him with tears in his eyes as he held onto his broken index finger. I can still move. Oh ho, the droopy man smirked. What the F***? Katsuki stared at the sky and her eyes slowly shift to Izuku with widened eyes and dropped jaw. You finally got a record suitable for a hero. Ochako cheered. I can't believe it. Itsuka gaped at her childhood friend. She really don't know how to react to the situation. How can you react when you grow up with a best friend who was quirkless, then one day he suddenly have a quirk right before the exam? What is this, Deku? Katsuki suddenly raced toward Izuku with a savage roar. Explain now, shithead. UWAAA. Izuku shrieked as the violent girl flew to him, but the scarf suddenly wrapped around her and her quirk ceases suddenly. Shit with this cloth. Katsuki struggled under the scarves. I can't. It's my special capturing weapon, a steel wire alloy woven with carbon nanofibers. Aizawa explained with a sigh. Geez, don't make me use my quirk so much. His head snapped up comically. I've got dry eyes, damn it. He yanked the cussing girl down on the ground, then release her. We're wasting time. Prepare for the next trail. Katsuki growled lowly, her eyes gaze at Izuku. Hey, is your finger all right? Itsuka was at his side. Do you want me to take you to infirmary office? Why yeah, I'm fine. Izuku stuttered with a small wince. I want to finish the rest of trails before I go to RRR recovery girl. You're not supposed to have a quirk. Katsuki stood up with gritted teeth as a childhood memory surfaced in her mind. you should have been nothing more than a useless Deku, you can't become a hero. By the time, the students have completed their trails and they stand in front of Aizawa. Time to present the results. He drawled out as Izuku looked down at his feet dejectedly, the total is simply the aggregate sum of each of your scores. If I recited all your scores, it'd take 1,000,000 years, so I'll disclose them all at once. He brought the screen up before he looked at the students. Oh yeah, that whole expulsion thing was a lie. Huh, some students blinked. It was a logical ruse to pull out your best performances. Aizawa flashed a wide evil grin. What? Several students cried out at the chuckling teacher. Come on, guys, use your brains. A girl with black spiky ponytail looked at them. Of course it was just a ruse. He's a substitute teacher so he doesn't have any authority to expel us just like that. And, right, Aizawa turned away from them. Yep. With that, it's over. Your curriculum sheets are back in the classroom so give them a once-over. And Midoriya, he glanced at the said boy, go to Recovery Girl and get yourself patched up. Since your eyeballs will doubtless pop out of their sockets at tomorrow's absurd ordeal. He scratched his hair again. Once you get back to the class, we will start the introduction. Alright, everyone. Aizawa was back in his sleeping bag as Midoriya Izuku returned to the class. You will introduce yourself to the class, your quirk and a bit about yourself. He slowly lied down on the floor. Let's start with the first seat, next to the door. He rolled to his side. Wake me up when you all are done with introduction. He's taking a nap. Almost everyone sweat drop at the odd teacher before a glasses-wearing girl stand up with a clearing throat. My name is Sekigai Kashiko. She said politely with poker face. She have a light periwinkle long hair that sweeps out at the ends and gray eyes. My quirk is chart. It allow me to create a holographic page which let me track and detect enemies and allies within certain range. I decide to pursue heroic career because of my role model, Ragdoll. I enjoy reading books. I am looking forward to working with everybody. Her head bowed slightly then she take her seat and the second girl stand up behind her. Hiya, I'm Tokage Setsuna. The dark green-haired girl waved cheerily. My quirk's autonomy. It allow me to detach my limbs at will and control them from afar. I can regrow my missing limbs but it'll take some time. She laughed as few students gave her odd looks. About myself, let me see, I totally like dinosaurs, gossips, pulling little pranks and jokes. Nice to meet you all. She sit down with a toothy grin. Hello, my name's Kodai Yui. Yui introduced herself. I possess size quirk that allow me to shrink down or enlarge my body. I hope I will get along with everybody here. She bowed her head politely then sits down. That's it. Some students blinked at short introduce. A short meekly girl with brown bob-cut hair, reaching to her shoulders, and top half of her face was hidden under long bangs. My name is Komori Kanoko. She poked her index fingers together. My quirk's name is Mushroom. I can create different kinds of spores like mushroom. I don't know what to say about myself. She quietly take her seat with some fidgets. Name's Jiro Kyoka. A petite girl stood up with indifference expression. She have triangular onyx eyes, short purple hair with asymmetric bangs, and two long jack-like earlobes that seems to moving as if it was part of her limbs. My quirk is called Earphone Jack. It can plug into anything and listen to whatever or channel noises through them, wreak havoc if I go for high frequency. They can stretch out and move like whip if I want them to. She rubbed her neck. I'm into music, mostly rock. She paused for a moment before she shrugged her shoulders, taking her seat. Bakugo Katsuki. The said girl stood up with a deep scowl. I can create explosives and blow shits up. I'm gonna be number one hero so stay the F*** out of my way. She dropped back in her seat with a plop. Yo, Ashido Mina. A girl with pink skin waved cheerily. She have a unique appearance because she have unique eyes. A black sclera with yellow irises, short unruly pink, almost match with her skin, hair with yellow horns protruding from her head. I can secrete acids from any part of my body and I can adjust the degree of solubility from harmless to dangerous enough to melt anything down. She grinned widely. I'm way into break dancing, aliens, gossiping, shopping, you know the girl typical. Mina sit down and Itsuka stood up behind her. Hi, I'm Kendo Itsuka. She smiled. My quirk is large fist. Like the name, my hands can grow to gigantic size and it come in handy during the hand-to-hand combat. I enjoy black coffee, motorcycle, and learning martial art. I hope to get knowing everybody here before the end of school year. She gave them another smile as she take her seat. Oh, my turn. A floating girl uniform jumped up with a bubbly tone. Name's Hagakuri Toru and my quirk is invisibility, which make me invisible. Her right sleeve waved with a giggle. I totally love shopping, plushies and all cute stuffs. Let's be friends. Toru sit down with another giggle. Hello. My name is Yaoyorozu Momo. Momo bowed politely. My quirk is creation, which allow me to create any non-living materials as long as I know how they are made down to the structure, composition and atomic numbers. I also enjoy reading and tease. I'm looking forward to working and training with everybody here. Asui Suyu, you can call me Suyu. A short girl with frog-like appearance stood up in front as soon as Momo sit down. She has dark sea green long hair, which ties in a bow on her back, very wide round eyes with pure black irises, and she has a wide mouth, resembling a frog. My quirk is frog foam, which means I can do whatever a frog can do. I'm very fond of rain, jelly and frogs. She took her seat. My name is Yanagi Reiko. A tall girl with pale gray hair stood up with a motionless expression. She has a side bang that covers her left eye, bags under her blue eyes, and puffy lips. Her elbows bent upwards with dangling hands, which somewhat resembles ancient depictions of ghosts. My quirk's name is Poltergeist and like ghost, I can create loud noises and move small to medium objects within my sight. She said slowly, I like ghost stories and surfing at beach. She slowly sit down like and Ghost and Midoriya Izuku suddenly realize it was his turn already. Izuku slowly stand up with trembling body as his face become deep crimson red as soon as all eyes stares at him and he just stand there in silence. Say something, Izuku. If anyone look outside the window, they should have seen All Might, in his muscular form, hiding behind tree in front of the classroom's window. Midoriya, my boy, take a deep breath. It'll be all right because I am here for you. All Might clenched his fist with wide grin, unawake of the fact that there were some students behind him, either in awe or wondering why he's hiding behind a tree in first place. The gulping nerd take a deep breath then introduce himself. Midoriya NNN name my is III Izuku. QQ quirk my SS strength enhanced is. There was a moment of silence before Izuku swiftly bury his red face into his hands embarrassingly and he can hear some giggles and snickers. Oh, God, he can't believe he just messed it up. Relax, man, relax. He hears someone said it between giggles but it only make him more tensed and he can feel himself getting hyperventilating each second. Lucky for him, someone come to his rescue before his body gets a chance to shut down. It's okay, Izuku, you can sit down. Itsuka patted his shoulder with a gentle smile as the blushing boy sat down with a timid nod before she looked at her classmates. Sorry, he's just shy and get very nervous around new people. She glanced at Ochako, mind picking things up. Ah, sure. Ochako hopped up with a beaming smile. I'm Uraraka Ochako, nice to meet ya. My quirk is zero gravity. I can make objects or people weightless and floating like zero gravity by touching them with pads on my fingers but the longer I keep it up, I'll get nausea. She chuckled sheepishly. I totally like space and I want to become a rescue hero like no. 13. She sat down with a smile, suddenly giving Izuku a good-hearted pat on his back, causing him to stiffen up but she didn't notice it. Yo, Yutsushimi Kami, an attractive teenager girl stood up. She has a long straight hair that reaches past her shoulders, grayish blue eyes, and a full glossy lips. My quirk is glamour. I can make visual and auditory illusions. I'm totes straight up grateful to be here, that's gonna be mad lit. I totes love adorable stuffs, chatting, shopping and anything that make me LMAO. Let's chat, fam. Hello, I'm Mongoose Habuko. A teenager girl stand up. She have a snake-like head down to her neck, golden eyes and red mane-like hair. I can paralyze anyone that looks into my eyes for 3 seconds. She shifted her weight nervously. I'm not sure what to share. She quickly sit down and Suyu patted her shoulder with a frog-like smile. My name is Shiozaki Abara. A girl with long green vine-like hair that reaches to the bottom of her back. My quirk is vines. I can manipulate my hair to expand, attack, catch and defend. They can be grow if it get cut off. Her thumb and index finger rub a single vine. I enjoy gardening because it is my favorite hobby. She quietly sit down and the girl with two colored hair stand up with blank expression. Todoroki Shoko. The girl whispered aloofly, half cold, half hot is the name of my quirk. It is a dual pyrokinesis and cryokinesis. As soon as she finished her sentence, she sit down and some students tilt their heads at her. That was shorter. Hello. A teenager girl stood up with a kind smile. She has long wavy hair that went past the shoulders with two long horns coming up from the top of her head, two large blue eyes, a huge, round nose, a tail coming out from her rear, and she have hooves for feet, resembling a pony. Po. She paused for a moment before she speak again timidly with hand on her chest, Sunotori pony. Me no good speaking. She seems to be struggling with something as she try to find the right word. American, you know USA. Yes. Quirk, horn cannon, do like pony. She wringed her hands. Sorry, speaking no good, but help me learning, understanding. She gave them another timid kind smile before she gives them a bow then take her seat. Hi, I'm Iwata Kauruko. A young slim teenager with light blue skin stand up with a small smile. She has bluish green hair and yellow eyes. My quirk is bubbles. I can make bubbles filled with an aroma that I had smelled at least once before. It can be very sweet or foul, depending on the color. She scratched her hair sheepishly. I like water sports, working out and few other things. She considering about adding something but she finish it right there and take her seat. Sensei, we are done with the introductions. Momo raised her hand up and Aizawa rolled over to face them with a sleepy blink. Oh, you all done? Aizawa drawled. All right then, please give another look at your curriculum sheets once over then do whatever you want until next period. Just like that, the creator raised her eyebrow at the teacher. Yup, just like that. Aizawa replied, it's just first day of school. SS so normal. Most students' sweat dropped. They thought they will start doing heroic training right off at the bat. Izuku stumbled past the gateway with burning cheeks as he kept replaying the humiliation moment in his head. I'm so humiliated. He was glad that the school let them out early because it was just an orientation and the class will officially start tomorrow. I want to crawl under blanket and... Hey, chin up. Itsuka patted his back. You were nervous. Anyone in your shoes will feel the same thing if they were the only guy in class. I'm pretty sure they'll forget about it by tomorrow. Really? You think so? He fidgeted timidly. Hi. She smiled. I hope so. She has a good feeling that few girls will never let him live it down but she'll step in if someone decides to tease her best friend. By the way, is your finger okay? Hi. Izuku bring his bandaged finger up to his eyes. Recovery girl saw to that. He recalling Aizawa's and recovery girl's conversations. I need to learn to adjust the power and quickly. It's good thing we're in UA with pro heroes as staff. Itsuka gave him a sideway glance. Some might have similar experience with your quirk so they may give you some tips. The nerd was about to say something to her but they hear a voice behind them. Hey, you two. Uraraka jogged over to them. You headed towards the station. Wait for me. Yeah, we are. Itsuka nodded at her with a smile. You can walk with us. Thank. The gravity girl snapped her fingers several times. Kendo Itsuka, right. The orange-haired nodded then the brunette turned to Izuku, and if I'm not mistaken, Midoriya Deku. DD Deku. Izuku dropped his jaw. Wasn't that what that Bakugo girl called you? Ochako pointed upward in thought. Actually, his name is Izuku. Itsuka corrected her. Deku. She frowned slightly. It's a degraded nickname that Bakugo come up to insult him. For real. The gravity girl rubbed his head sheepishly. Sorry. She smiled beamingly at Izuku, but you know, I kinda like the name. Deku, for you. It gives me a sorta, never give up, vibe, ya know. I'm Deku. Izuku. Itsuka shot him a ridiculous look, seriously. It's just like when Copernicus flipped the paradigm. Izuku covered his red face with his hands as he slowly entered his mumbling mode. Koperni huh? Ochako tilted her head at him with dazed expression and Kendo shake her head with a weary sigh. It's going to be a long year. The martial artist glanced at the rambling boy weary. The very next day, the students were listening to present Mike's lesson. Class, tell me where the mistake is in this next English sentence example. Mike raised his hand high up in air with a grin. Who know the answer? Everybody, hands up and raise them high. So normal, some girls thought. They really thought they don't have to learn some subjects from Japanese to math. Some were trying to solve the English problem. Present Mike gazed at his students with a wide grin until he spot the only boy timidly raised his hand, barely reach his chest, and he was trying his best to make himself smaller. Midoriya, the grinning teacher gestured at the squeaking boy with both of his arms. Shoot away, boy. Aye, it's number 4. Izuku trembled in his seat as most girls stared at him. TTT, the P past participle is in www wrong place. Correct. Present Mike clapped his hands. Good job, Midoriya. The past participle should. He explained the answer to the class with more details, and the boy releases his breath as soon as most girls turned back to their teacher. Guess watching All Might's English interviews really pay off, huh? Itsuka whispered to him with a smirk. Why yeah, but I also watch American channels online so. Izuku stared down at his textbook embarrassingly, and she rolls her eyes playfully at him before the bell ring, ending the class and starting the lunchtime. Izuku become more exciting, not because of lunch but for his next class after lunch because. It's me, you came. Izuku sit up straighter with exciting tone and shiny eyes as he watches his idol enter the classroom in his Sliver Age uniform. He was not the only person getting exciting to be in presence of number 1 pro hero. Through the door, like a normal person, All Might gave the classroom one of his poses, flexing his muscles. I can't believe it, Toru squealed. All Might's really gonna be teaching us. That design's so Silver Age. Mina pumped her arms. That art style clashed so much it's giving me goosebumps. Foundational Hero Studies. All Might grinned at his classroom. For this class, we'll be building up your hero foundation through various trials. He suddenly flashed them with a battle card. Let's jump right in with this. The Trail of Battle. The Trial of Battle. Katsuki grinned psychotically. And to go with your first battle, All Might gestured at the wall, and to the students' amaze, the sections slowly slide out of the wall to reveal shelves with numbered suitcases. We've prepared the gear we had you send in requests for to match your quirks. Our battle gear, awesome. Setsuna grinned and the students received their suitcases. Get changed and we'll be ready to go. All Might flashed a thumb up at them. Everyone gather at Grounds B. The garb you bring into the battlefield is vitally important. Girls and boys. He paused to stare at the students for a second as they leave for the changing room. I mean girls and a boy. It still throws him off to know that his successor is the only boy in his class and the number 1 pro hero really pity the boy. It's so big. Izuku glanced around in the boy's changing room as he slipped into his hero outfit before he sighed to himself. It's so oblivious the room look huge to him because it's empty and it make him feel a little lonely. He shook it out of his head, then race out to the Grounds B. He don't want to miss a single second of All Might's lesson. All right. All Might stood proudly with fists on his hip as Izuku show up eagerly with some students while the rest joined them a moment later. Let's see what you're made of, you embryos. Midoriya take a glance around, checking some costumes out near him before he hears someone call out to him. Ah, Deku. Uraraka fidgeted around with her helmet with a grin. Cool costume. It looks really practical. Uraraka. Whoa. Izuku's eyes nearly pop out of their socket when he saw her tight spandex uniform. I wish I'd drawn my request sketch a little better. Ochako laughed sheepishly. My costume came out a bit puffy. It's embarrassing. At least you have full body spandex. Kaoruko muttered next to her with dark bluish blush as she attempted to cover the underside of her bust and midriff with her arms. Whoever was in charge of my costume get it all wrong. Izuku widened his popped-out eyes comically with red face. Ugh, the corset is too tight. Itsuka walked up to them, trying to adjust her corset as it kept pushing her beeps up. The designers must be S. Yui approached them in a black skin-tight spandex, outlining every curves of her body, with black domino mask. SS someone. Please help me. The blushing boy directs his eyes upward to the ceiling, grateful for his mask. Thankful, All Might comes to his rescue indirectly. I'm liking everyone's styles. All Might nodded his head in approval as he checked his students' outfits, very cool. His eyes land on Izuku's costume then at too long hair, sticking upward and he turned his head away to stifle his laughter. A bit transparent. This boy really looks up to him very much than he thought. Sensei, regarding the ground we'll be using, is it the mock city from the entrance exam? Kashiko raised her hand up. She have spotted some familiar buildings outside when the students were on their way to meet their sensei. Yes, this will be an indoor battle trial. The number 1 hero's grin widened. Villain cleanup is usually seen out in the open, but statistically, the better part of it is an indoor job. Most acts of villainy are committed indoors. Imprisonment, house arrest, the black market, in this hero-saturated society. Why, any villain with intelligence is lurking in the shadows. He flicked his right hand at the monitors. For this test, you'll separate into villain and hero groups. For a 2-on-2 team battle. What about the foundational training? Suyu tilted her head. This is foundational training. All Might clenched his fist. Only this time, there won't be any robots, it'd be okay to just destroy. So how do we determine who wins and loses? Momo asked. Is it okay if we just blow them away? Katsuki flexed her hands sadistically. Is there a threat of expulsion like with Aizawa-sensei's exercise? The gravity girl asked worriedly. Do we pick our partner or is it set? Kami asked. Dibs on Cutie Bun. Some wonder who she was referring to, or was it one of her lingo? C-C, can I change? Abara asked embarrassingly. She was wearing a very revealing green leotard, which mostly exposes her beeps, with green leather boots. I didn't sketch it out like that. I can't hear you if you speak all at once. All Might's body trembled before he fish and flashcard out with a clearing throat. For this training, we'll have some villains guard a nuclear weapon they intend on deploying. The heroes must stop them and their nefarious scheme before it's too late. If the heroes capture the villain or reach the nuclear core before the time runs out, they win. If the villains manage to keep the core the whole time or capture the heroes, they win. Sounds like Golden Age superhero stuff. Midoriya listened to his role model attentively. Your teammates and opponents will be chosen by lottery. All Might pulled a box out of nowhere. Seriously, just like that? Jiro corked her eyebrow. Is that really how we'll do it? Well, pros are often forced to make impromptu team-ups with other heroes they might not know very well, so this is probably testing that, Izuku said before he noticed that the girls were looking at him oddly and he sniveled up immediately, cover his eyes with his hair. Sorry, I. Anyway, the number 1 hero's right arm shot up. Let's start this. He swiftly draw the names out for each group. Group A, Kendo Itsuka and Uraraka Ochako. Group B, Yaoyorozu Momo and Shiozaki Abara. Group C, Todoroki Shoko and Sekigai Kashiko. Group D, Bakugo Katsuki and Tokage Setsuna. Group E, Midoriya Izuku and Tsunotori Pony. Group F, Asui Suyu and Kodai Yui. Group G, Ashido Mina and Yutsushimi Kami. Group H, Hagakure Toru and Komori Kanoko. Group 1, Jiro Kyoka and Mongoose Habuko. Group J, Awada Kaoruko and Yanagi Reiko. Midoriya, work good. Pony beamed at Izuku cheerily. Say anything, man, speak some words. The trembling boy gave her a very small shaky nod. Yay. Ochako grabbed Itsuka's hands happily. I was so nervous that I might end up on team with someone I don't know. Pleased to have you. Likewise. Itsuka smiled goodheartedly. And the first 2 pairs to do combat will be the following. All Might suddenly jammed his hands into 2 colored boxes, a black box for villain and white box for hero. Pair A will be heroes. Pair D will be villains. Wait, Kendo's eyes widened faintly and her eyes sharply gazed to Katsuki. The violent have a twisted grin on her face, leering at the martial artist. This scenario has the villains inside the building first. The muscular hero explained. Then, after 5 minutes, the heroes will be let in as well. Everyone else will be able to watch what unfolds through the surveillance cameras. He looked down at 2 selected teams, This will allow young Bakugo and young Setsuna to get inside the heads of Villainkind. This is a practical training exercise. So go all out without fear of injury. Though naturally we'll cut it short if things get out of hand. Katsuki and Itsuka barely look at each other as they exited the surveillance room to their destination, and Izuku was afraid for his friends because it tends to get out of hands when they butt heads time from time. Damn, this thing looks so real. Setsuna patted a bomb missile with an impressive whistle. She wear a reptile skin leotard with deep V-cut, exposing her cleavages, and it have a short lizard-like tail hanging from her rear. She also wears a belt with few pouches and reptile-like shoes. She look at Bakugo. So what's the plan, Bakugo? You guard the F*******ing bomb. Katsuki stomped toward the door. I'm gonna F******* handy bitch up along with this round face bitch. Whoa, wait, shouldn't we come up with a better plan like? The lizard-themed girl asked, but the violent girl walked out with an evil smirk. She slowly turned her head to the bomb. Okay, I can guard this bomb. Her head dropped with a heavy exhale. Her quirk is unsuitable for this task. With Katsuki, she stomped down the hallway with a wide evil smirk. I have been waiting for this moment. Handy bitch, just you wait. Her hand flexed madly. I'll F***** you up so badly that you will learn your place. A layout map of the building. Ochako, study the map. Guess we have to commit it to memory. She turned to Itsuka with a bright smile. It doesn't seem like there are any penalties like with Aizawa-sensei, so I'm relieved. She slowly blinks as soon as she notices a stony expression and tight frown on Itsuka's face. Kendo. Huh. Itsuka blinked several times as she turned her head to Ochako. Oh, sorry. I was thinking about my opponent, Katsuki. I know she will come straight to us because she wants to attack me as soon as it starts, and I don't know if I will be able to hold myself back when that happens. You don't like her at all, Uraraka poked her fingers with concern. Yes, the martial artist frowned. This girl have been bullying Izuku as long as I can remember just because she thought her quirk was best than everyone, and she always harass him almost every day because to her, he was a quirkless boy. I have lost counts at how many times I have to save Izuku from her. She can remember herself as a little girl dragging sobbing boy around, keeping apologizing to her with sobs for being weak and quirkless. Really? The gravity girl blinked in realization, but he has a quirk. Deku's quirk is way amazing than anyone I know. I mean, he can punch a 0-point robot away. Izuku is a late bloomer. Itsuka replied, it manifested a little before exam. What? Ochako's eyes widened comically. That means he applied for the exam, thinking that he don't have one. That's really amazing. Deku's one brave dude. Yeah, but I still think it's bizarre because he suddenly have a quirk. She muttered. Not really. The gravity girl shook her head as Kendo raised her eyebrow at her. There was an old man in my neighbor when I was little. He didn't have a quirk, then one day, bam. She flashed her hands. He can shoot lightning from his hands. You should have seen people's faces when he accidentally blows his phone up. She giggled. Their eyes nearly popped the right out of sockets. It turned out that he was a late bloomer too, like Izuku. Ah, I see. Itsuka turned her eyes up with a hum. I guess I still can't wrap my mind around it yet. She looked back to her partner. Sorry for unloading something like that on you. It's unlikely of her to share something personal with someone she just met. It's okay. Ochako grinned brightly with thumb up. We're a team now, aren't we? Let's do our best. Yeah. Itsuka chuckled lightly before they start discussing their plan until the horn blaring out, signaling the start of their mission, and the hero team carefully sneaks into the first floor of building through a window. Infiltration success, Uraraka whispered with a smile. Be careful, there are a lot of blind spots. Itsuka scanned the floor, slowly tiptoeing toward the staircase on other side with her partner. As soon as they approach AT hallway, Katsuki suddenly jumped into their view with rearing fist, and the marital artist act faster, tackle Uraraka down as Katsuki burst her explosive at the wall above their heads. Are you okay, Uraraka? Itsuka quickly spun around with narrowed eyes, ignoring the smell of singed clothing on her shoulder. Why yeah, thanks. Uraraka climbed back up on her feet. She came like a bolt. Damn it, handy bitch, don't dodge me. Katsuki growled deadly. Yup, I'm her priority right now. Itsuka slid into her guard stance. I'll blow you right away, but just short of getting this interrupted. Katsuki swing her right arm, but Itsuka quickly invade her personal space, grab her grenade gauntlet, and with a twist of her torso, kendo flip Katsuki over her shoulder. The violent girl's back hit the floor with a hard smash. You have a habit of starting thing off with your right. Itsuka jumped back away from downed. Villainous. To avoid the blast radius, and she aimed a smug smirk toward at the growling. You mother F asterisk 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 Katsuki stomped her foot up to push herself off the floor. Now I'm pissed off. She ignored Tokage's questions within her ear. Calm. I'm really F asterisk asterisk asterisk-ing pissed off right now. She launched herself at the orange-haired girl by blasting her hands and her left leg lash out at kendo, only to have it parry by her right enlarged hand. Katsuki swing her right hand again with a roaring explosive, and Itsuka duck, narrowly avoid the radius. Then the marital artist punch Katsuki with another large fist, which send the snarling girl flying away from her. Bakugo leap up onto her feet before she saw kendo retreat around the corner. Get back here, bitch. Bakugo give a chase, failed to realize that Uraraka have disappeared during her ambush, and some memories float around in her head for some reasons as she search for this handy bitch. Izuku. A 4-years-old Katsuki grinned smugly at 4-years-old Midoriya as she kicked ball up in air many time with her knee. You really can't do anything, can you? Nah, but you're really awesome. Izuku smiled brightly with shining eyes. Of course, I am. The tomboy gloated. From now on, you're Deku, a person who's totally useless at everything. The tomboy smirked widely and some boys laughed. Hey, stop it, Izuku muttered softly, his hands clenched around the hems of his shirt. That fit him. A random boy laughed. He can't skip a rock. Katsuki glanced at the boy, then her red eyes turned back to the shaking green-haired boy. Why can't he do anything? Whoa, what a fantastic quirk. A preschool teacher smiled down at Katsuki as she showed her new quirk off by creating few small exploding blasts, and everyone surrounding her in awe. Yup, I'm just awesome and everyone else just isn't. Katsuki have a bright grin on her face. That's really awesome quirk. Izuku bounced excitingly. You can be a cool hero. Yeah, I'm going to be number 1. The tomboy smiled widely at her childhood friend. I'll blow all bad guys away. Your quirk is so cool, Kachan. I wonder when mine will come in. Izuku followed Katsuki through the forest with nets. Whatever quirk you get, it'll never measure up to mine. The tomboy laughed, swinging box around in her right hand as she blasted the air with her free hand. The boy just pout at her. Hey, Izuku don't have a quirk. It's called quirkless. So lame. No wonder. He's Deku. Izuku just sit on floor with shocked face as Katsuki stare at him. Oh, Deku's quirkless. Whatever. He will never be amazing like me. Huh. Katsuki stared at Izuku in front of her as he held his fists up with tears in the corners of his eyes while a little boy sobbed behind him back. What are you doing? It's not nice to pick on someone. Izuku sniffled. I will stop you like a hero. But you don't have a quirk. Katsuki scoffed before she shoved him down. Quirkless hero, there's no such a thing. I will become a hero and protect everyone with smile like All Might. Izuku held up a poster of All Might happily with Katsuki in a store. Don't you get it? Katsuki stared at him. You're quirkless. You're useless. I want to be a hero. No, you can't. They have quirks and you don't. I just tried to breathe fire like Dad, but I can't. Maybe it's something else. Stop it. Just give up. Accept it. I want to play hero, not villain. Please stop. You'll get hurt. I don't want you to be a hero. Kachan. Stop. Why you're hurting me? That is for your good. Don't be a hero. There is something else you can do. Kachan. Izuku sobbed with few holes and scrapes on his clothes. Why? Don't look at me like that. I'm doing it for you. Hey, leave him alone. A young orange-haired girl stood in front of her with spreading arms as Izuku cried behind her. Get out of the way. I'm trying to stop him from becoming a hero. Don't worry, Izuku. Itsuka smiled at Izuku brightly. You can be a hero if you want to. What are you doing? Don't encourage him. Come on. Itsuka grabbed Izuku's hand as she shot a dirty glare at Katsuki. Let's play somewhere else, away from her. What the hell are you doing? Get away from him. Katsuki walk across a log-over river with a wide grin as several kids follow her before her foot slip under her and she fall into the river. Hey, are you okay? A random kid called out to her. I'm okay. Katsuki called back with a laughter and she saw Izuku quickly race to other side, about to climb down. Ah, he's going to help me. Izuku, don't help her. Itsuka stopped him. She's fine. Oh, okay. Izuku blinked at her. Why did you stop him? He was going to help me. Bakugo stared at them from distance as the boy looked at Itsuka and she smiled gently at him. Don't look at him with that expression. The orange-haired girl took Izuku's hand then dragged him away from the tomboy. Hand off him. Her teeth gritted angrily. I saw Deku first. Your eyes were pleading for help. Teenager Izuku leapt out to her as the slime villain forced her to blast it everywhere. No. Don't help me. You'll get hurt. Stay away. That is all Handy Bitch's fault. She encouraged you. She made you think you can be a hero. That is all your fault. Katsuki stomped with murderous glint in her eyes. You ruined everything. Uraraka pressed her back against the wall as she peeked into a wide room, where the bomb and Tokage are located in, and she went over the plan in her head. The plan was very simple. Itsuka will distract Bakugo and lure her away while the gravity girls sneak up few floors then either caught Tokage or receive the bomb. Ochako feel concern for her new friend as she can hear some explosives below the floor but the marital artist assured her that she'll be fine before the mission started. Kendo, I found them. Shall I go for it? Yes, go for it. Itsuka's voice whispered, you better hurry before Bakugo figure it out that you're not here. Roger. Uraraka peeked into the room again. I can't believe Bakugo. Setsuna sighed to herself, she should guard the bomb with me. I mean, how can I stop someone with my quirk? Do I have to go like? She grabbed her left arm then detach it off before she waved it around like a club. Hurrah, I'm arms fall off woman. Beware of arm club. I'll beat you up with my arm club. PFFFT. Uraraka spit laughed, attracted Setsuna's attention. Setsuna stared at her before an embarrassing blush appear on her face as her left stump slowly regrow a new arm. How long have you been there? Oh, from the beginning. Uraraka giggled, arms fall off woman. No. Tokage covered her red face with her hand and detached arm. Please don't tell anyone about that. She was so thankful that the monitor room has no sound, something that All Might mentioned. Little did she know as that All Might can hear everything and was trying his best to not spill his blood laughing. Now, Ochako sprinted toward Setsuna and the green-haired girl yelped out as the gravity girl slapped her hands on her side, taking her gravity away. Hey! Setsuna clawed at the empty air, floating up to the ceiling as Uraraka walked toward the bomb. Put me back down. Let me down. Found you, bitch. Bakugo located Itsuka with bloodshot eyes as the orange-haired girl glared at her and the girl lifted her grenade gauntlet up at her opponent. My explosions are sparked by the sweat on my palms, which is like secreting nitroglycerin that then detonates. Kendo looked at her questioningly. Now, if the specs are as I asked then I can store that nitro sweat into this bracer and, she reached up to the trigger and Itsuka's eyes widened in horrific realization. If it doesn't hit you, you won't die. She was about to pull it but Uraraka Ochako has received the bomb. Hero team wins. Katsuki was stunned by the announcement before her eyes slowly widen, the round-face bitch. She forgets this bitch. Mother F*******. Damn it. The sight of Itsuka's smirk pissed her off farther. F***. Both teams returned to the monitor room in good and bad mood. It's time for critiques. All Might placed hands on his hip. No matter whether you won or lost, you take one look back, you reflect on the experience, and you move on with your life. He looked at his students. So who do you think is the best in this match? All Might Sensei, if I may. Momo raised her hand up as her teacher gives her a go-ahead nod. Having watched the fight, Bakugo's behavior was clearly driven by some personal grudge, and thus totally arbitrary. Uraraka's game got loose halfway through and Tokage was distracted when she should have come up with some countermoves against Uraraka's quirk, despite the fact that the villains didn't come up with a plan from the beginning. Kendo devised a good strategy against her opponents because she correctly predict Bakugo's actions and distract her long enough to allow Uraraka receive the core, so the best in the match should go to Kendo for her strategy and usage of her quirk against Bakugo's assault and overwhelming quirk. Everyone stared at her in silence before All Might shakily held a thumb up out. CC correct answer. He kept his grin up. Holy moly. She said it all. We should always start our studies with what's familiar. Momo put her hands on hip with a huff, and if we don't cheer each other on wholeheartedly, then we'll never become top heroes. C correct again, Yaoyorozu. All Might chuckled shakily as he reached inside the boxes, and now for the match. He pulled two colored balls out. Pair E will be heroes. Pair C will be villains. Good luck, Deku. Ochako smiled. Be careful, Itsuka said. Chi thanks, I will. Izuku shuffled out of the room with Pony and his opponents. Who do you think will win? Reiko said slowly. I bet it'll be the villains. Suyu said. Kashiko have chart quirk that let her know her opponents' location and Shoko might have a good control over her dual quirk. She recalled some tidbit from yesterday. I'm not sure about Pony and Izuku's quirk is very self-destruction. Oh yeah, it's hella strong but a strange one. Awata nodded her head. My money's on hero team. Mina pumped her arm. Destructive or not, it's way stronger. He can send a ball flying far away with just one finger. True, but he's a glass cannon either way. Jiro replied and some girls discussed about their predicts as All Might turned to the monitor. Midoriya my boy, All Might held his clipboard up. Here you are just another student to me. So don't expect any favoritism, I'll grade you just as harshly as the rest. Izuku felt so nervous because that is the first time he will face against living people and in a team, WW with a girl. He take a deep breath then exhale out to calm himself before he pound on his opponent's quirks and what actions his team should take. Sekigai's quirk is chart and the way she described it sounds similar to Ragdoll's search quirk, so that means she can see us coming from miles away, or is there some limit to it? Does it stretch out like search or is it limited to a building floor? What about the height of the building? Either way, the villain team will know where we are as soon as we enter her range. Todoroki seems to have good control over ice and her fire control is unknown, but it's possible she's also skilled at it. Her quirk is very suitable as defensive and offense, but to what degree? She may have some training beforehand. He kept mumbling until a voice snapped him out. You nervous? Pony looked at him with bright doe eyes as the boy nearly frozen with a squeak. Me too, do best, okay. She paused, sorry, Japanese bad. It's okay, Izuku rubbed his head timidly. If he remember correctly, the girl mentioned that she's American and he know that she was struggling with Japanese. Why you can speak English if you like, he stuttered to her in English and Pony's eyes widened comically with a jar mouth. Oh, did he said it wrong? Oh, God, does that mean he might misunderstand some English words from the American channels? Oh, God, what did he said to her? Was it something perv? You can speak English. Pony's eyes lit up with radiating smile. Oh, thank goodness. I was so totally worried that I may never meet someone who can speak English when I arrived in Japan a month ago. I was, like, oh no. What am I gonna do? And then, like, chill, Pony, you can do it. Plus ultra, girl, but now I feel so better knowing that someone in my class can speak my language. Slow down, please. Izuku held his hands up with a nervous chuckle. My English is so. I can understand English pretty well. So you can speak English to me if you want. Slow, okay. Okay. The pony-themed girl giggled with timid smile. Sorry, I was so exciting that someone can speak and understand English. Midoriya waved it off as he scratched his head bashfully. I understand. If it's okay with you, can you tell me about your quirk? Mine is strength-enhancing quirk. Oh, sure. Pony started to explain her quirk to him slowly so he can understand her and they start to discuss over their strategy. Several minutes later after the start, Kashiko looked at a holographic page, floating above her forearm. and two dots move closer to the fourth floor via stairs. The heroes are coming up on the north side of the fourth floor. It looks like they're disregarding stealth probability. They theorized that I have detected them from the commencement. This'll get hairy, so stay behind me. Shoko flexed her hand blankly. If they intend to blitz us, the atmosphere become colder as the ice spread outward from beneath of her feet, then this won't be much for me. The temperature steady dropping as Izuku and Pony arrive with few shivers. You can take a step if you like. Do be aware, however, that peeling the skin off the sole of your foot doesn't look good for your ability to fight. She warned them with aloof tone, and the boy glanced at the ice field as they inching toward the heroes. Tsunotori, you ready? Midoriya glanced at his partner and she gave him a firm nod before he looked back at Shoko and Kashiko with determination. Don't say I warned you. The dual-haired girl sighed. A large ice wave shot toward the heroes with roar, and Izuku quickly bring his right hand up with index finger pressing against his thumb. I hope that work. Izuku channeled the power into his index finger before he flicked it at the roaring ice wave. Delaware smash. The ice shattered instantly under the powerful shockwave as his right index finger swollen up. Go. Roger. Pony raced swiftly on her four limbs diagonally, away from the villains, and it appeared that she was planning to go around to avoid them. Shoko swiftly summoned Ice Wall to block the horse-themed girl, but Izuku once again shattered it with another shockwave, costing him his right middle finger. Sekigai, Shoko uttered. On it. Kashiko dashed to Pony as fast as she can, but Pony easily outrun her, courtesy of her quirk, and the dual-haired girl turned her eyes to Izuku. The ice-wielding girl would go all out, but that will put her partner at risk, and at same time, she underestimated this boy's strength. Shoko didn't know that Midoriya's strength was powerful enough to break her ice with a shockwave, even if they were weaker. Gotcha. Pony glomped the bomb with wide grin. Next time, I will not underestimate you. Shoko's eyes narrowed at the boy slightly. She will defeat him with this ice power to prove this bastard that she doesn't need his quirk. Hero Team Ween. All Might's voice boomed, and the ice-wielding girl detected something in his tone as her eyebrow arched a minuscule. It was filled with pride, but why? The best in match was tied between Izuku and Pony because Izuku was the one who come up with strategy and Pony have follow it to the letter, even put her quirk to good usable. All Might ordered Izuku to check himself in with Recovery Girl to have his broken fingers treated, and Katsuki stare at the monitor in a fuming silence. She can't believe that Deku just won the match with Horsey Bitch by costing his 2 fingers, and as she watched the rest of the matches between the girls, she slowly come to realize that some have a good gap on her when they use their quirk in Variety's way. Of course, there were some girls who were not doing well in this field, but what the hell was she doing the whole time, fooling around and bragging about her quirk? Damn it, she cursed in her head with gritted teeth when the lesson ended. Good work, everyone. All Might grinned at his students. Apart from young Midoriya, there were no big injuries. Well, 2 broken fingers can kinda be seen as big injury, but it's better than busted arm. Nevertheless, no holds were barred. For your first full training exercise, you all did wonderfully. He turned away from them with a raised hand. Now then, I'm going to check on young Midoriya. Change clothes and return to the classroom. He suddenly dashed off at amazing speed. Damn. He's pretty cool when he looks so hurry. Mina whistled as the girls head to the changing room and they start to change out of their costume and back into their school uniform while some either chat about random stuff or their battle lesson. Say, Itsuka, can I ask you something? The pink girl tilted her head back at the said girl, putting her white shirt on. Sure, what is it? Kendo fastened her skirt. You and Midori, item. Ashido smirked coyly and few girls looked curiously. Midoriya. Itsuka blinked owlishly. Her hands held a white shirt up. No, we're childhood friends. Why did you think that? Ah, Mina hummed. I was just curious because you two were so closer and Midori seems to be comfortable around you more than the others. Midoriya, comfortable around her. Jiro snorted. Don't look like it. Because you have no clue. Mina smirked. You never have been in love before. Wah. The rock girl looked at her oddly. Why did this acid-creating girl bring romance into that? Ah, it would be so cute if they become lovers from childhood friends. Toru squealed. That's only happen in fictional stories. Itsuka's sweat dropped at them as she turned back to face her locker. She don't know why her cheeks heat up faintly. Class dismissed. Aizawa grunted out as the final bell ring, ending the second day of the school, and he leave the classroom sluggishly with a small grumble. Izuku start to stowing things away in his backpack, and before he can leave, someone calls him by his name. Hey, Izu. Kami suddenly stand next to him. Congrats back there. Aye Izu. Midoriya choked on his spit from the shock. I heard Shoko is hella strong, but you totes bust her ice up like nothing. The leaned closer to him. Your quirk is so powerful as hell. I mean, you just shattered the ice up with a shockwave. That's so mad lit, fam. I'll say. Ashido immediately jumped in. I know some guys with strength-enhanced quirks, but yours is so freaking powerful than theirs. Are your fingers okay, by the way? Abara asked politely. Izuku fidgeted awkwardly, not using to have some attentions and from some girls too. Hi, I'm Ashido Mina. The pink girl reintroduced herself with wide grin. I'm Utsushimi Kami, but you can call me Kami. Kami winked at Izuku. What's your number and line? We should hit up. My name is Shiozaki Abara. The vine-haired girl spoke softly. I'm Asui Suyu, but call me Suyu, okay? Suyu pop out from behind Mina before she point at Habuko. Her name is Mongoose Habuko, but you can call her Habuko. Hey. Habuko shouted at her friend out of embarrassment. I don't want to be his friend. Why not? The frog girl tilted her head at her best friend with finger on her chin. JJ, just because. The snake girl half stuttered, half roared. You're embarrassed, aren't you? The corners of Suyu's lip quivered up and the snake girl looked away with a growling sound. Hey, Uraraka, wanna go to a cafe near here? Setsuna waved at the said gravity girl. Sure, arm fall off woman. Uraraka smiled brightly. Tokage buried her face into hands embarrassedly. Why do you call her that? Itsuka asked Ochako curiously with Yui at her side. Don't tell her. Setsuna cried out with embarrassed blush. You Uraraka, I told you to never mention it to anyone. Izuku noticed that some girls were gathering together on their own, forming some friendship between them as they packed their bags, and he noticed one less girl. Where did Kachan go? He didn't see her leaving the room. Damn it, Katsuki leaned against the wall with crossed arms, her right heel kept kicking the wall. How dare she make a bigger fool of me? Her teeth gritted angrily. Even if not, her red eyes hardened as soon as she saw Deku exited the building with Handy Bitch and Round Face Bitch, and his face was so red like a tomato as he talked to them with a timid smile. Today, you beat me, King Handy Bitch. She watched some extras walked out on their own. This ice bitch, I thought she was nothing but extra. The black ponytail bitch's words sunk in. Shit. Goddamn it. Now that is the moment where I'll jump in and encourage her to go beyond. All Might peeked around the corner with a nod of his head. He would have a word with her early, but he was on tight schedule and he don't want to lost control of his form in front of the students. He decides to wait and let her streaming off first. From here on out, the growling narrowed her eyes at Deku's group. I'm gonna be number one. Handy bitch, don't you King think you'll ever beat me again? Now, All Might jogged up to her to give her some support. Maybe he will start off with her self-confidence first. I'm gonna surpass you all, even All Might too. Katsuki never noticed All Might. I'll be the number one hero, then Deku will look at me again. And not you, Handy bitch. Wait, what? All Might froze in mid-jog. I will steal him back from you. The growled angrily, rubbing the corner of her eyes furiously. What's THIIIIIS? That was not what the number one hero expected. He'll be mine again, damn it. She stormed off, unknowingly leave All Might all alone by himself. Tsunere. All Might just stood there with sweat beads running down his grinning face. He feel like he was spying on something very private and personal. Teaching is difficult. How do these teachers can do it? What kind of lessons does All Might teach? A microphone invaded Izuku's personal space as soon as he approached the school's gate, and the poor nerd find himself surrounded by reporters and camera people. Izuku stuttered with widened eyes. I'm sorry, BB, but I had to go. the reporters kept shoving their microphones at him, firing rapid questions about the number one hero and his lessons, and someone thankfully come to his rescue. "Excuse us." Itsuka grabbed Izuku's shoulders, "We're going to be late for our class." She hurriedly pushed her best friend across the gate, and the reporters quickly swarming another poor students with rapid questions. "You okay, Izuku?" Why yes." The nerd chuckled nervously. I kinda got overwhelmed back there, they were pretty intense." "Yeah, because of All Might," Kendo replied as they entered the hallway. "Somehow the word just get out that All Might joined the staff as a new teacher. I wonder how did that happen. It has been barely 3 days and the reporters have been hounding students and teachers since day one. To her knowledge, the UA haven't released the official word about All Might yet. Maybe some students told the media offices," Izuku guessed. "Maybe." Itsuka shrugged her shoulders. They enter their classroom and chat a bit with classmates before their substitute teacher step in as soon as the bell ring. "Let's get on with the homeroom notices." Aizawa gazed at his students. "I'm sorry to have spring this on you all, but several girls pray that it's not a pop test. We need to pick a class president and vice president." Finally, something school-like. Someone shouted out before almost all hands shot up in air. "I wanna do it too," Jiro said. "That's like a lead position." Mina waved her hand animatedly. "I'll do it. Me. This position is suitable for me because I have some experience." Kashiko pushed her glasses up, light reflected off her glasses. "I wanna be one. No homework forever," Kami said. "Can we vote?" Kaoruko asked. "If that's the case, then everyone will just vote for themselves," Suyu said. "But there might be some chance that someone receives more votes," the blue girl pointed out before she looked at her teacher. "Is that all right, sensei?" "As long as you all decide by the deadline, anything's fine." Aizawa crawl into his sleeping bag then take a nap. So much freedom. Few students' sweat dropped at their teacher before they write names down on paper then cast their votes, and the result was, "I got 4 votes. Izuku gaped at the blackboard comically with trembling body. He just beat Momo by 2 votes. "You've gotta be shitting me." Katsuki stared at the result. Who voted for Deku? If she looked behind, she would have seen Ochako whistling innocently. Suyu woke Aizawa up and the scruffy man take a glance at the board lazily. "So then it's President Midoriya and Vice President Yaoyorozu." Aizawa begrudging removed his sleeping bag. "So close." Momo sighed. FFFFF for real. Izuku can't believe it. It was time for lunch as the students received their meals in a largest cafeteria and Izuku sit by himself at a table, waiting for his friends, but his mind still can't wrap around it. The class president. Him, the class president. Who voted for me? He give out a heavy sigh. "Oh, it's you." Izuku got startled by an intense voice and he looked up to see this scary tall guy who have called him out during the entrance exam. The hero nerd start to sweating as the tall guy stroll up to him then, suddenly stuck his hand out to him. "Hello, I'm Iida Tenya from class 1B. I must hand it to you. You divined the actual nature of the practical skills exam, didn't you?" He averted his eyes as his arms moved around in strange pattern, almost like a robot. "I was blind to it. And I completely misread you. I hate to admit it, but you were the better man." But I didn't realize it either." Izuku blinked rapidly at the tall student in front of him. It appeared this guy was not really scary than he thought, just serious and enthusiastic. He suddenly realized that he didn't give him his name yet. I'm Midoriya Izuku. I'm from class 1A. He glanced at lunch tray in Tenya's hands. Didi, do you want to join me and my friends for lunch?" "Oh." Iida blinked at his sudden request. "Would that be okay? I don't want to impose upon you and your friends." It'll be okay." Midoriya replied. He doesn't have a male friend before and it'll be nice if he managed to befriend this guy. "If you are alright with it then." Iida take his seat across the hero nerd before he bow his head politely. "Thank you for the invitation." He took a glance around the hallway. "We get all kinds here, huh? There are Department of Heroics, Support, Management, all assembled in the same hall." He pressed his glass up. "That's UA for you." Why yeah." Izuku chuckled timidly. His mind was still on his new position. You look little troubled by something. Iida suddenly asked him, do you mind me asking what it is? Oh. I was made class president so suddenly, I'm really not sure I'm up to the task, the hero nerd scratched his hair bashfully. Oh, congratulate on your position. Iida gasped with moving arms, you've got the guts and judgment when it counts, Midoriya. It's no wonder why they decide to elect you as their class president. He clenched his fist with manly tears, at same time, you seem to be very humble and admit your weakness. It's so clear that you are way better man than me. Izuku wasn't sure what to say to that, wondering how did he admit his weakness. This student in front of him is surely strange but a good fella. This rice is yummy. Ochako skipped over to them with tray in her hand, another hand hold a chopstick. She take her seat next to Izuku before she notice Iida. Oh. Hello. I'm Iida Tenya from Class 1B. Tenya introduced himself with same intense tone. Midoriya was kind enough to invite me to join the table. Hi. I'm Uraraka Ochako. Ochako smiled. I'm in same class with Deku. Deku. Iida's eyebrow corked. TTT, that's my nickname. Izuku answered. It has a you can do it vibe. Oh, is that so? Iida hummed. Yup. The gravity girl grinned before she spotted Tsuka and Yui as they walked toward to their table. Over here. Hello. I'm Iida Tenya from. Iida was about to introduce himself again but. Class 1B. Itsuka cut him off with a light chuckle as she take her seat next to Ochako. Kodai sit down next to Iida and across from Ochako. I heard you. His voice was little louder that she can hear him from few feet away. I'm Kendo Itsuka and that is Kodai Yui. Hello. Yui greeted flatly, taking a bite of rice. So what were you talking about before we get here? Ochako asked the boys. Oh, I was congratulating Midoriya on his position of class president. Iida answered, I'm looking forward to working with him because I am also a class president for Class 1B. You've got the look down with the glasses. The gravity girl said bluntly with single rice on her chin and Izuku's sweat dropped at her bluntness. That's not a good thing to say, Uraraka. Itsuka chuckled lightly with a small sweat drop and the smiling gravity girl just tilts her head innocently. BB, but I'm not sure if I'm cut out for it. Izuku muttered timidly. I don't know why I got 4 votes in first place. Oh, I voted for you. The orange-haired girl revealed her vote to the shocked boy. WWY. Izuku gasped with dropped jaw. Because I think it will do you good. Itsuka said, I believe this position will bring you out of your shell and give you a little confidence. I also voted for you. Ochako smiled widely. Me too. Yui replied calmly. I saw you raising your hand. She would vote for Itsuka if she have raised her hand up. Why you saw that? Izuku gawked. He didn't bring his hand all way up. I can't believe it. I even voted for someone else. You don't vote yourself. Iida blinked at him before he clenched his hand again. It's so clear that you're way better man than I am. I am so ashamed to vote for myself. I need to work on myself and restore my honor as an aspiring hero. Geez, you sound like you're from an upper crust family. Ochako said bluntly. You upper crust. Iida stuttered at her choice of words before he noticed their staring. I don't like it when it's bought attention, but if I must talk about such things, then yes, I'm from a family that's been in heroics for generations. I am currently the second son. Do you know of Turbo Hero Ingenium? Of course, man. Midoriya's eyes lit up. That's the super popular hero whose Tokyo office has hired as many as 65 sidekicks. You don't mean, he went into long deeper details of the Turbo Hero. Why, you're quite knowledgeable. Iida stared at the nerd bewilderingly. Hero otaku. Yui ate her sandwich blankly. But that's right, he's my big brother. The tall student puffed his chest up with pride. He's a beloved pro hero who prizes the rules and guides the people. He smiled. And I aspire to be a hero like him one day. It's like All Might is to me. Izuku can relate to Iida with role models and he was about to say something but a familiar face catch his eyes as someone approached the table. Hiya. Pony smiled at them then down at Izuku. Is that okay if I can join you and guys for lunch? Hi, you can. Izuku nodded. Thanks. The American girl sat down next to him happily. Hello, I'm Iida Tenya from Class 1B. Iida once again introduced himself to new face. Midoriya has invited me to join the table for lunch. Oh. Ho. Pony stopped herself with a timid yet nervous smile. Sunotori Pony. Japanese. No good. Me, American. She stopped to give out and sigh before she turned to Izuku. Izuku, can you please help me out? Tell him that it's nice to meet him and slow down a bit because I still can't understand Japanese pretty well. SSS sure. Izuku nodded rapidly before he repeated her words to Iida. You can understand her. Ochako blinked at Izuku, giving Pony a cheerful wave at same time. Why yes, I often watch English channels online, Izuku replied sheepishly, but I'm not fluent with English, he. Cool, that mean you can translate for us. The gravity girl grinned and the nerd just rubs his neck timidly. Aye if that's okay with tease. A blaring siren cut him off, startling everyone. Security level 3 has been breached. The mechanized announcer spoke. Students, please promptly evacuate. What's security level 3? Iida asked the nearby students with strange hand gesture. It means someone's infiltrated the school grounds. The older student answered, this hasn't happened in 3 years. Come quickly, all of you. Everything became chaotic so faster and Izuku and his friends found themselves sandwiching by sea of students as they start to panicking. What is this all of sudden? Ochako cried out as her side gets hit by elbow. As expected of the pinnacle of education, their crisis response was swift. Iida grunted out under the student body, it was too swift. It triggered a panic. Izuku, stay close to me. Itsuka called out worriedly, where are you? OOV, Izuku was about to call out but some students push him farther and the grunting nerd find himself in front of Yui with his hands and face pressing against the window. KK Kodai, he cried out before someone shoved him again, causing his body to press up against her body and he can feel her chest squashing against his chest. SSSSSS sorry. He cried out again with red face and his blush deepened each second, trying his best to not lose his head over the close contact. It's okay. Yui replied, it's not your fault that happened. If Izuku was not freaking out, he would notice that the quiet girls still have blank expression the whole time and wonder how the hell can she be calm in the middle of crisis. How is that happening? The nerd winced as someone shoved him again and something catch his attention outside. It was a mob of press storming the yard. PP press! Exclamation mark quote. That mean the panic was nothing but hysteria. Everyone, calm, Midoriya called out, only to have his face pressed against the glass and he squeak out as soon as Yui's body pressed deeper into his chest with her head tucking under his chin. He can hear some students screaming out and he need to come up with something and quick. The nerd forced his head to turn around and the first thing he saw is that Ochako was closer to Iida before idea strike him. Oh Ochako, make Iida float. Aye Iida, TT tell everyone to calm down, it's just press on campus. Press. Iida's eyes widened before he turned to Ochako as she forced herself to swim through the mob and she slapped his outreaching hand. Suddenly, his gravity becomes zero and Iida find himself floating over the student body. There, he spot the exit, pulling his pant legs up to reveal his engine calves and with a roaring of engine, the screaming tall student flew toward until his body smack against the wall above the doorway in a familiar exit pose. Everybody calm down, he bellowed out and the student body suddenly become calm under his shout as if it was like magic word. It's okay. It's just the press. There's nothing to panic about. It's okay. You're at YUUEI. Let's conduct ourselves in the manner of those enrolled at the highest academia. Phew. Midoriya breathed out as the student body relaxed enough to give him some breath room and he looked down at Yui before his face burned red again as soon as he realized that their bodies were still squashing together. SSS sorry. He quickly pushed away from her as if he was on fire. Are you alright? I'm fine, thank you for asking. Yui said calmly and this time, Izuku can't help but to sweat drop at her expression. How can this girl be so calm throughout the whole thing? The police arrived and forced the press off the campus by the time the lunch ended and the students returned to their class for another period. All right, President, start us off. Momo stood in front of the class with Izuku. Let us initiate the ceremony for the new class president. Izuku tried his best not to meet the girls' eyes as he struggled with his speech. He didn't know that he have to give them a speech right away. I want to thank you for your votes and I will do my best as your class president. I'm really new to it and I hope you all can help me out. He looked at Momo. PP, please support me as well. Why Yorozu? I will. Momo nodded her head professionally before she looked at her classmates. I'm honored to be elected as your vice president and I hope that I will live up to your expectation. Thank you. They returned back to their desks and the rest of the day just went smoothly without any problems. For the foundational skill of heroics we'll study today, Aizawa stood in front of his classroom a day after the press incident. It was decided you'll be supervised by 4-man team comprising me, All Might, and 2 else. It was decided. Izuku thought, might be a special case then. What'll we be doing? Toru raised her arm. Be the hero everyone needs, whether it's a flood or any other disaster. Aizawa replied as few students get exciting, it's the trial of rescue. Yeah, Ochako was literally bouncing in her seat. Izuku can't blame her for being so exciting because he remembered that she plans to become a rescue hero and her quirk fit this specific aspect. If it's a flood, then that environment's my specialty, hero. Suyu riveted. Don't get ahead of yourselves. Aizawa's eyes gaze across his students. As I was saying, this time, it's entirely up to each of you whether or not you wear your costume. Some of your costumes probably aren't adapted to the task at hand, after all. The training area is fairly far away, so we'll get there by bus once the other class join us. That's all. Go get prepared. Other class. Abara raised her hand up. Who'll join us? Class 1B, led with Khan. The scruffy man replied. That mean Iida will join them for the training. Izuku become exciting at the new because that is a chance for him to see new quirks in action and add them to his heroic notebook. His hand clench into a fist. I'll do my best with this training, to become a top hero. The Class 1A walk out after changing into their heroic costume and Ochako noticed something. How come you're in your gym clothes, Deku? She asked. It turned out that the nerd was wearing a gym uniform with a mouth guard. She also take a note that 2 or 3 girls were also wearing their gym uniform, probably turned their costumes in for redesign. Because it turned out that my costume was lacking some protection so I decided to send it to the support company. Izuku scratched his head. He discovered that his costume can't withstanding the power of one for all and 2 fingers were torn off, which mean his costume would literally blast apart and put him at risk of running around nude. He blushed mentally. No one would look up to a nude hero, no one. I hope they don't change it too much. Toru suddenly pop up at Izuku's side, leaning onto his shoulder with her shoulder. Because the rabbit mask looks so adorable. Oh, yeah, it does look like a one. The gravity girl snapped her fingers with a realization gasp. I bet there's some story too, Deku. She blinked at the red frozen nerd. What's the matter? N. Izuku's expression become comically frightened as if he have committed deadly sin. He feels someone poking his cheek and it was coming from a floating glove. Hello, Earth to Midori. Toru end up pushing her chest up against his arm. Sorry. Izuku immediately leap away from the invisible girl as he turned his head away from her sharply. I don't mean to look at you. Oh, the invisible girl's tone gains something mischievous. It's okay, I don't mind you looking at me. She bumps his hip with her hip, causing him to yelp out with deep blush. In fact, you can stare at me all you want, Izu. She sing-song with a small coo. Izuku covered his face, feeling dizzy. I can't. That would be so wrong and indirect of me. Hagakuri, please don't tease him. Itsuka come in between them, you'll make him uncomfortable and pass out. Okay. Toru backed away from them with a giggle as the nerd calmed himself down with fast breathing. Sorry. I can't help it if he react like that. I'll stop. She smirked wickedly. For now. She find his behavior very cute and he looks so easy to be teased. She giggle as soon as the blushing boy let out another squeak and the martial artist just rolled her eyes. The gravity girl was spit laughing at the scene. There's Iida. Ochako spot the tall student with a group in a distance after she calm herself down with few giggles and Izuku look at them with a blink. Iida's class have all male students and no girl student. He never get a chance to study them as Iida spot them and greet them right away. Hello, Uraraka, Midoriya, Kendo. Iida called out to them since they were in front of their classmate. It's good to see you again. LL likewise, I didn't know that we were going to have a joint class training. Izuku smiled timidly. Me either. Iida nodded. Kon-sensei told us that it was decided at last minute. As expected of UA, it seems like that they would train us together in case of a massive scale rescue scenario and how we can work together like battle trial between heroes and villains. How admirable. If they decide to elect a leader, it will go to you because of your judgment and Iida, stop being friendly with Class 1A. A blonde boy with gray eyes and white pupils stride up to Iida. He wear a tuxedo with several clocks around his waist. They are our enemies because they think they are better than us since they're in Class A, but we know that they are nothing but a bunch of W. Monoma, please do not start. Iida quickly spin to him with arm chop. Do you not remember what happened yesterday during the class? We are all here as equal because we are training to be a hero and he went into a long lecture and some students wonder what were he talking about. Wow, looks like Class 1B is all-boy class. Setsuna whistled before she gives Izuku a nudge with her elbow. You sure luck out on this one. Huh. Izuku blinked at her confusingly and she was about to say something but a high-pitched scream shattered the quiet atmosphere. Damn you. The hero nerd let a startled wail out when a very short boy with grape-like hair suddenly latched onto his pant leg with a creepy envious expression and bloody tears. Don't you get all smug and almighty. Just because you have a harem. What did you do to get a harem for a class? Did you bribe someone, huh? Did you have a connection to someone in high place? Do you have a harem quirk? How did you do it? WWW, what are you talking about? The nerd wailed, attempting to pry the creepy guy off his leg, but the grape-haired boy tightened his grip with a bloody wail. GGG, get off me. You know what I mean. The midget suddenly pointed at each certain female individual, still clinging on the frightened boy's leg. These two have huge tits and curvy bodies. He was pointing at Momo and Kami before his finger shift to Suyu, dat ass. You can see her booty under this tight spandex. And you get a foreigner. This time, he pointed at the confusing American. I bet she let you ride her like a cowboy. And his finger find its way to Jiro, who was looking at him disgustingly, and the midget take a good look at her for a minute before he give out an exhaled huff. Flat and ugly. Moving on, his comment draw an eyebrow twitch and gritted teeth from the rocker as the midget spin his head back up to Izuku. Look at all tight uniforms. I joined the Harryok class for that and guess what I get? Nothing but a sausage fest. I don't want to work with men. I want to partner up with hot girl and get laid. Stop that. Izuku stuttered with red face. Why you're being rude. Show me your dick. Wait, what? The hero nerd blinked owlishly. Did he just hear him right? He swear that the midget was asking. Show me your dick. There must be some reason why chicks flock to you. The midget suddenly knocks him down, then tried to yank the screaming nerd's pant down. Come on, show it. Is it true that they like it big or not? Let me go. Izuku screamed with deep red face, trying to push the creepy person off him. Hey, get off him. Itsuka rushed over to the screaming pair with few girls, and it looked like the midget was about to scream again, but a teenager boy, with dark shaggy hair and black eyes, chopped the midget's neck, stunning him. Stop that, Mineta. The teenager lifted the twitching midget up by his collar as Midoriya immediately latched onto Itsuka for protection, fearing that the creepy will slip out of his savior's hand. Izuku, are you okay? Itsuka rubbed the shivering boy's back soothingly, keeping one eye on the hanging imp wearily. Her trembling childhood friend simply nodded his head, and few of his classmates were checking on him out of concern, because it's not every day that you almost get beeped by a crazy ed midget who want to see your junk. Sorry about him. He's just, the shaggy-haired teenager glanced at Mineta in his hand, furious that our class is all boys and he was acting out a bit because he's very envious of your friend here. A bit. Kaoruko shot a dirty look at the squirming midget as he kept staring intense at some girl's assets, something that earned him another neck chop from the shaggy-haired boy. Don't worry, he'll be punished once I let Kon-sensei know. The teenager boy looked down to Midoriya with a smile. You all right there? Izuku realized that he was waiting for him to give his name before he nodded shakily. Why yeah, I'm Midoriya Izuku. Kaibara-sen. Sen replied with a hand on his cheek. I hope we can become buddy. As soon as he said, buddy, a glint appeared in his eyes while a light pink blush dusted his cheeks, and there was something about his smile as he directed it downward to Izuku. Itsuka tightened her hug on her best friend with widened eyes as a cold sweat bead run down the side of her paled face. She don't know why, but she have a urge to protect Izuku from this guy at all cost. See you later, Izu buddy. Sen walked away from the group with screaming midget in his hand as he mumbled under his breath, something about adorable boy and eat up. Yup, Itsuka have to be on guard around him from now onward. C Class 1B is so weird. Kanoko gulped nervously. Just because there are some eccentric students does not mean Class 1B is what you say it is. Abara smiled gently. Aye if you say so. The Miki girl glanced nervously at some strange male students, wondering why this French person is talking to empty air in a strange pose, or this beast-like guy snoring away on a giant student with glue-like head while the said student was putting a model figure of some anime character together. In order to get everyone seated smoothly on the bus, file into 2 lines according to your numbers. Iida suddenly whistled out with a raised hand as soon as a long bus pulls up to the group. Aye Iida's at full throttle. Midoriya weakly stand up with a small sweat drop, slowly calm himself down. At same time, he pray that he don't end up sitting near this creepy, something that he have in common with his whole class after Mineta outburst. The classes step onto the bus and they immediately notice something that makes some chuckles. So it ended up this kind of bus anyway. Iida slumped in his seat. It turned out that the bus have 2 lines of seats, facing each other, with 1 row in the back. The left side was claimed by the Class 1A with 2 female students in the back seat, and Class 1B occupied the right side with 2 male students in the back. There was no point, huh? Mina chuckled at the sight of dejected robot-like student. Some students share her sentiment. Hey, Midoriya, I always say what I think no matter what's on my mind. Izuku nearly jumped up in his seat before he looked at Tsuyu, who was sitting next to him. Hi, Asui. Izuku stuttered nervously. That was so sudden. Call me Tsuyu. The frog girl turned her head to face him. Your quirk reminds me of All Might's. Midoriya nearly let and shriek out, but he managed to hold it in. That's so. He nervously laughed it off with waves. But mine isn't like. But, Tsuyu, it's not same. Habuko spoke up next to Tsuyu. All Might's quirk does not hurt him like Midoriya's. Yup, it's where the likeness ends. Kami bobbed her head as she suddenly leaned against Izuku's right side, causing the poor boy to stiffen up at the sudden closeness. Hey, what are you talking about? A boy with red spiky hair leaned forward over to them curiously. He wear a gear-like shoulder pads with a skirt with a ripped pattern over pant, holding up by AR belt and a black mask that remind Izuku of something, but he don't know where he have seen it before. I'm Kirishima Eijiro, by the way. Midoriya's quirk here is Enhancer, and it's very powerful enough to destroy this Zero robot with a simple punch. Tsuyu said, but it's too powerful that it can break any bones, like his right arm after a punch for example. Damn, Kirishima whistled impressively. I'm kinda jealous of that kind of simple Enhancer type quirk, though. There's a lot you can do with one, and flashily too. He lifted his right arm up to show off his quirk as it hardened to Izuku's amazement. My hardening power isn't bad for punch-ups, but I hate that it's just not that flashy. I think it's an awesome quirk. Izuku's eyes lit up brightly with 100-watt smile as many ideas revolting around Kirishima's quirk run through his mind. Definitely a quirk that'll be of great use to a pro. Oh, Kirishima blinked at him before he scratched his cheek lightly. Ah, yeah, it's pretty amazing but not very flashy like yours if this girl say it is. But your quirk allows you to boost your defensive and offensive at same time, right? The nerd guessed as the red-haired boy nodded. That mean you can protect your allies and civilians from any attacks like blade or bullets. It's also very suitable for rescue mission. You can easily dig through a landslide to rescue the victims if you harden your hands into claws or ram through a thick wall to save the hostages from villains. Crimson Riot has a similar quirk like yours, so you may be able to learn some techniques and moves from him. He went on a long ramble while most students stare at him bewilderedly until he beamed at Kirishima with $1,000,000 innocent smile. To be honest, I'm so jealous of your quirk because I can't shield people like you can do. Gak. Kirishima shielded his face with his arms as he turned away from him embarrassingly. Too bright. How can you be so honest? He has a strange urge to shield this boy from the world to protect his innocence. But you know, heroics has a lot about it that's more like a popularity contest too, right? A French student suddenly speaks up with his chin on hands. My naval laser is both flashy and strong enough for the pro level. But, Aoyama, it'd be bad if your stomach collapsed. A tall, lean young man with dark hair and shape of cylindrical tape dispensers for elbows patted French student's shoulders with a laughter. Aoyama's face becomes blue with black lines at his words. If we're talking the double whammy of flashy and strong, that'll be Bakugo and Todoroki. Setsuna pointed out. They can hear Katsuki clicking her tongue annoyingly. Bakugo's always fuming, so she won't be very popular. Tsuyu said bluntly. You bitch. Katsuki smashed her hands on rail as Jiro leaned away from her sourly. I'll be popular. See, the frog girl pointed at the snarling girl as if it have proved her point. It's only been a brief while since our socialization has commenced, and yet already we have been made apodictically cognizant of your personality, redolent as it is of a turd getting steamed in a sewer. A boy with black lightning bolt stake run across his hair smirked. What the hell kind of vocabulary is that? Katsuki snarled at the, and WHO the F asterisk 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 are you? Don't talk to me, I'll F asterisk 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 ing kill you. She led a long string of cussing out. What a vulgar conversation. Momo covered her lip with a hand, staring at the screaming girl unpleasantly. But they make me laugh. Ochako laughed out loud. The bus have reached its destination and the students look around in amazement as soon as they enter the USJ area. Amazing. Is that USJ or something? Someone cried out amazingly. Flood wrecks, landslides, fires, etc., etc. A voice spoke up and the students gazed at the owner to see a person in astronaut-like outfit walk up to them with Aizawa and bulky man with gray hair and two prominent lower canine teeth. This is a practical training area I created to simulate all kinds of accidents and disasters, and its name is, the ultimate space for jams. It's Space Hero, number 13, and Blood Hero, Vlad King. Izuku perked up excitingly. No. 13 is the gentlemanly hero who does phenomenal work helping with disaster relief. Wow. Ochako hopped happily with clenched hands. I've always liked No. 13. She can't believe her eyes that her role model is standing in front of her. Say, where's All Might? Aizawa glanced around dully. He should be here around this time. From what I was told, Sensei, 13 held 3 fingers up subtlety. It looks as though he'd been out heroing while commuting up until his time was up. Now he's resting up in the nap room. That guy's the height of irrational. The dull teacher grumbled before he glanced at the students. Oh, well, shall we? Before we begin, just one thing. 13 lift one finger then expand more fingers, or 2, or 3, or 4. The space hero turned to the students. I'm certain you're already quite aware, but my quirk is called Black Hole. No matter what material may get beeped into its vortex, I'm afraid it will turn into dust. Now that's a quirk that's perfect for removing wreckage and saving people injured by disasters. Izuku said. Ochako's head nods so rapid that some think she will receive an whiplash. Yes, 13 replied. It is, however, a power that could also easily be used to kill people. And in that way, it's no different from the quirks of everyone here. The students immediately listened to the space hero. Naturally, in this society of superhumans, quirks are strictly regulated, and the requirements for their awful use enforced. We can tell at a glance that that is the makeup of this world. That being said, please don't forget that each of you possesses a quirk that can go awry. One wrong step is all it takes to be able to kill other accidentally. During Aizawa and Khan's physical strength test, you learned of your respective powers' true potential, and during All Might's trial of battle, I think you took away a true sense of the danger of brandishing those powers against one another. This lesson will serve as a fresh start. Let's get to studying about how to wield our quirks for the sake of human life. Your quirks emphatically do not exist to hurt others. Please leave this exercise having fully understood that your quirks exist to help people. 13 is so cool. Some students stared at the space hero in awe. That is all. 13 bowed dramatically. You have my gratitude for listening so intently and patiently. The students clapped for the space hero. That was awesome. Ochako shouted out. Bravo. Iida clapped rapidly, moving to tears after the space hero's speech. All right, first things first. Aizawa rolled his eyes as Khan chuckled at the sight before something catch the scruffy man's eyes and he looked down at the center of the USJ to see a black mist wrapping around. A pale hand slowly reach out into the view and the hair on the back of Aizawa's neck stand up immediately before impaled man peek out with a hand on its face, and mad glint within its eye can be seen through the hand's fingers. Huddle together and don't move. He screamed out to warning the students and alert the pro-heroes as the villains pour out from the mist. 13, Vlad. Protect the students. What is that? Hiroshima squirted his eyes at the villain-infested area. Is this like that training pattern at the entrance exam? Don't move. Aizawa barked at him as he yanked his goggles down. Those are villains. Eraserhead. Vlad King and no. 13. Two eyes peek through a mist. According to the teacher's curriculum we procured yesterday, All Might was supposed to be here, and yet. I knew it. Aizawa scowled as soon as he overheard the villain. So yesterday was the doing of you louts. Where is he? The paled man with dismembered hands whined childishly. We went through all the trouble and rustled up so many of us to bring along. You can't tell me All Might, the symbol of peace, isn't here. A sadistic glint appears in his eyes. I wonder if he'll show up if we kill the kids. The villains. Mineta stared at the villains with shakily legs. Get out of here. What kind of numbskull could think honest-to-God villains would be able to just waltz into the hero home base? Sensei. Momo called out. What about the intruder alarm sensors? Of course we have some set up but. 13 gathered the students up with Khan's help. Is this the only campus they've infiltrated, or are they attacking all the others, too? Shoko gazed over at the villains. At any rate, if the sensors aren't responding then that just mean they must have one amongst their number who has a quirk that can do that. An isolated space away from the school building, at a time when there's a class scheduled, it may seem out of the question but, her eyes narrowed, they must have some solid objective. This isn't an ambush without some carefully planned scheme behind it. 13. Vlad, do the evacuation procedure. Aizawa barked, and try calling the school. These villains know how to get around the sensors. There's a chance there's an electrowave-type guy who'll try interfering. Kaminari, try contacting Yue with your quirk. Khan looked at the boy with black lighting streak. Sensei. Midoriya shouted out to Aizawa with concern, are you gonna fight them alone? Even if you suppress all of their quirks, there's so many of them. The battle style of Eraserhead is to capture villains after erasing their quirks. Meaning, the main battle starts now. A hero always has more than one trick up their sleeves. Aizawa cut him off firmly. Vlad, 13, I'm counting on you too. He leapt over the rail and toward the crowd. All right, firing squad. A villain shouted out, here we go. He blinked at the incoming figure. Wasn't there supposed to be only 13 in All Might? Who the hell's that? Buggered if I know. A bull mask villain snorted, but he's seriously hurtling toward us by himself. What a dumb shit. They both active their quirks, only to blink as soon as their quirks cause without a warning. Huh, it won't shoot. A villain looked at his fingers confusingly before a clothing wrap around the villains and with a hard yank from Aizawa, the two villains, heads clash violently, knocking each other out. Ya bunch of morons. A giant rock-like creature with 4 arms stomped up to the front. You can tell just by looking, that's the quirk that erases other quirks. Eraserhead. It erases quirks. The creature snickered evilly. Can you even erase mutant shapes like us? Nope. No can do. Aizawa surprised the villain with a beeper punch, forcing the giant to topple backward. It only works on emitter and transformation class quirks. He tossed a scarf around the giant's leg then ducked under a random villain's blind swing, Statistically, guys like you are stronger at close quarters combat where you can really excel. He pulled the scarf and the rock creature find himself flinging toward the widening-eyed villains. Which is why I've devised a countermeasure. Aizawa said calmly as the creature crashed into the screaming villains, taking few villains out in one swoon. His hand-to-hand combat skills, too, are commendable. The paled man scratched his neck as he watched the scruffy man skillfully taking the henchman out. Furthermore, we cannot be sure just whose quirks he's erased since his line of sight is hidden by those goggles. That is why even a mass allied against him is tasting defeat. Now I see, he clicked his tongue. God, pro heroes are such a pain. If we were just any rabble, we wouldn't stand a chance. Incredible. Izuku watched in fascination as his sensei took some charging villains down with well-placed moves. I forgot one-on group battle as Aizawa's sensei's specialty. He went into his analysis mode but Itsuka grabbed his arm. Now is not time for your analysis. Itsuka pulled him over toward the huddled students. We've get out of here. I'm afraid I can't allow that. A wall of black mist shot up in front of the shocked students and pro-heroes as the figure with a mist for head appeared in front of them. Greetings. We are the Villain Alliance. I apologize for the presumption but we took it upon ourselves to enter UA Academy, the base of heroes, in order to engage with All Might, the symbol of peace. The mist villain said politely, we were wondering if we might be allowed the opportunity to extinguish him, you see. The mist shift around the students and heroes. Was All Might not meant to be in attendance at this juncture? Perchance, has something been altered? Ah well, setting that aside, the mist swoon around like an tornado as two heroes prepare themselves to defend their students. This is my role. Suddenly, Katsuki and Kirishima jump into action by attacking the metal collar around the villain and an explosive break out. Bet you didn't think we'd be able to do you in before you got the chance. Kirishima jumped back with Katsuki. That was quite perilous. The mist villain takes form again to the duo's surprise. To be expected, though you may be mere students, you are also the hero world's golden eggs. It's no use, just run. 13 roared. Run, you too. You will be scattered. The black mist spread out with an savage roar as it shrouded the group in darkness, and tortured, and slain. Several students and heroes managed to avoid the mist. Everyone. Khan shouted out angrily. 1 minute he was standing at the entrance and the next minute, Midoriya Izuku find himself falling toward a large lake. UWAA. Izuku cried out as he plunged into the water, the flood zone. He quickly regained his bearing as he started to swim upward, warping. His quirk is warping. This is an extremely rare quirk, and he's after All Might's head. How? What the hell is going on right now? Oh ho, the chum has come. A voice speak at his right and the boy turn around to see a shark-like villain with scrub mask before he opened his jaw wide to the screaming boy. It's nothing personal, but, sayonara, beeper. As soon as he finished his sentence, someone pounded the villain's side of face, sending him flailing away and Izuku immediately realized it was Tsuyu with two figures under her arms. Midoriya. Tsuyu's tongue stretch out like an lighting and it wrap around Midoriya's torso before she shoot upward, away from the screaming villain. I said, sayonara. The shark-like villain screamed out of shock. Sayonara. Tsuyu said too calmly before she breaks through the surface, quickly flinging Midoriya over to a ship. The green-haired boy coughs some waters out before two more figures fling on board, following by Tsuyu, and Izuku take a good look at two figures that the frog girl have saved. It was Kanoko and a glue-head boy from Class 1B. Izuku looks up to Tsuyu with another cough. Thank you, Asui. Call me Tsuyu. The frog girl replied, and boy, are we in a pickle. Well, there goes the curriculum. Midoriya checked up on Kanoko and the glue-head giant, both appear to be fine. Actually, if you think about it, yesterday's break-in by the media must have been a ploy to obtain information. He chewed his lip in deep thought. It's just like Todoroki said, they were watching for an opportunity to swoop in, and now their preparations are complete. What do you mean? Kanoko take a hold of Izuku's sleeve nervously. They must have figured out some way to kill All Might. Tsuyu spoke up. Otherwise it'd be absurd if they went through all this trouble just to get flattened, no. And it's not exactly beneath those bastards. They told us they'd torture us to death, remember? The mushroom head girl shivered as her grip tightened around Izuku's sleeve. Will we really be able to hold out until All Might arrives? If he does come, will he be all right? Come back here, you. A voice of the shark-like villain roared from below, I'll kill you. Big catch, big catch, big caatch. A chant break out around the ship, signaling that they have it surrounded as Kanoko shiver with a soft whimper until a low mumble snap her out and she look up to see the nerd mumbling with hand on his lip. She's right, Midoriya muttered, they must have calculated some way to defeat All Might. I can't think of any other reason. Why do they want to kill him? Because he's been a deterrent against villains, against evil. Or is it just because he's called the symbol of peace? That can't be it. It must run deeper. But then, what could it be? Their motive, their impetus, their reason. He brought his hand down as his head lift up. Anyway, if those bastards have some trick to take down All Might, then right now, we have only one course of action. His eyes blazing up with determination, we fight to win. But how are we going to do that? Kanoko asked worriedly. Those down there. Izuku peeked over the guardrail to see swimming villains. They're clearly all about underwater battle. So they must have known about the layout of USJ beforehand and gathered people with that in mind, huh? Suyu hummed with index finger on her lip. Exactly. The hero nerd nodded. They stocked up information for the attack. But for a bunch of guys who prepared so meticulously, there's something awfully odd about their behavior. He looked at the frog girl. In an underwater zone of combat, Asui, Suyu. You're able to move freely. It's your strength. So why would they put you there? The trio stares at him in silence for a moment. Continue at your preferred pace. Suyu said. Oh, Kanoko seems to realize something. So in other words, they don't know what the students' quirks are. Izuku deduced. It's true. The frog girl agreed. I'm a frog so I know getting tossed into that fire zone wouldn't have looked fun for me. It's because they don't have intel on our quirks that they separated us and their strategy now is to assault us with sheer numbers. Midoriya glanced at the villains. They've got us beat both in numbers and experience. We have only one key to victory. Our one advantage is that they have no clue what our quirks can do. They haven't tried coming aboard ship. That also substantiates my hypothesis. I can leap fairly high. Suyu decided to give her fellow students more details about her quirk. I can clamber up walls. My tongue can lash out up to a length of 20 meters. And I can inflate my stomach outwards. It's lined with poisonous mucus. Well, not really poisonous so much as somewhat stinging, and I can secrete it. The latter two are probably near useless so you can forget those. I half expected all of that, but you're pretty strong. Izuku blinked. As you two know my quirk allows me to produce spores. Kanoko said meekly, I can create a spores that can put some to sleep, or poison them, ranging from hallucinating to, she gulped nervously, and my spores can grow mushroom rapidly in any size on any bodies it touch. She covered her red face with left hand as they stared at her. Sorry, it's pretty much useless right now because the villains can avoid them by diving underwater. It's okay, it can't be helped. Izuku said, it's pretty strong anywhere but fire and flood zone. He glanced at his fist. My power is extremely strong, but, once I use it, my bones crack and fracture. Think of it as kind of a glass cannon. They turned to stare at the glue-like giant student. What about you, The giant fished out an student id from his gym uniform, pointing at a name under his picture. It read Bondo Kojira. He tucked it away after they checked his name, then he pours some blue fluids out from 4 of his 7 eyes into his cupped hands. He molded it into a large ball, then stick to the wall and simply point at it as it hardened faster. Your quirk is some kind of glue. Izuku analyzing the glue ball. Smeeding, right? Bondo nodded his head, and it hardened pretty faster. How fast? 3 fingers. It's pretty useful for trapping villains. The nerd touched the hardened glue ball, and very dense. He rubbed his chin. Does it dissolve in water? Bondo tapped its chin with his right elbow on left hand in deep thought before he pointed at the ball, then held 5 fingers up. If it's thick then it will last for 5 minutes in water before it dissolve. He guessed and the giant nodded his head. Get out there. A voice snarled from the below and the ship suddenly rocked violently, then it slowly sank at snail pace. Let's end this farce. Bondo. Izuku sharply turned to the giant. Quick. Make many glue balls as much as you can. Why? Kanoko asked him. I think I get a plan, Izuku said calmly as he ignored the shark-like villain's gloat. The moment your enemies are confident of their victory, that is your chance. All Might said that once on Junetsu Teraku. The mushroom girl noticed that his hand was trembling. In order to win, there's no other way. Listen, he explained his plan to the group as fast as he can. Itsuka grit her teeth, thrusting her palm upward to her enemy's chin, and before it landed, she immediately enlarged the same hand to increase the impact as the grunting villain fly back with a jerk. Behind her, a steel student, named Tetsu, deliver a haymaker punch and it strike a villain's face, while a crowhead student, Tokiyami, attack several villains with his dark quirk. Vlad King was also with them as he captured few villains with his blood quirk. The orange-haired girl has been worrying about Izuku since this mist villain scattered them across the USJ, and she really hoped that Izuku won't do something stupid. She duck under a random villain's round kick and she immediately sweep his leg out under him, then smash him out with large hammer fists. Hagakure Toru is usually a upbeat and cheery girl, but right now, she is extremely annoying and furious. Not because of the villain raid, but because of this one irritated guy, and this person is Mineta. When the mist villain scatter them with his rap quirk, she end up with Shoko and Mineta in middle of a zone, surrounding by villains, and no one know that she was there, thanks to her quirk. At first, she was afraid for her classmates until Shoko make a quick work of them with just her ice ability without break a sweat, and she was in awe. This dual-wielder girl was actually holding back the whole time, and she's so curious how powerful she is, and then this imp start to cry loud enough to draw more villains in, babbling inaudible. All Might will stop these idiots. Mineta wailed at first, then he babbled that there's no hope after few minutes, we're gonna die here. We should have stay in one spot and wait for Pro Hero to come and get us. Good idea, Toru thought sarcastically. Let the villains overtake them with unknown amount of number and let Shoko do all the work. I'm not going to die before I touch tits and ass. Mineta whispered to himself, unawake of the fact that Toru was there, as he stared intently at Shoko's rear with overflowing tears. Damn it, I'm going for it. The midget reaches out to her rear, only to trip on his face, and he looked down confusingly. Did he trip over something? He looks up to Shoko's back again, and how the hell did this bastard get in? Toru tripped the sobbing midget again as soon as he attempted to outright beeping the unawake dual-haired girl while rambling about his reason to become a hero, just to be popular with girls and objectify them. King hate these guys like that. She kept trip the boy over and over each time he tried to grope Shoko, and she's really glad that Midoriya end up in her class instead of this disgusting imp. Hey, let's get up there. A sea-themed villain grunted out as the ship sunk halfway underwater. No, just wait a bit. A deep fish villain replied. We don't know what their quirks are, and a scream draw their attention, and the villains look up to see a green-haired boy climb on top of the guardrail, screaming his head off before he leap off. Deeeeee! Izuku screamed out, causing one villain to snicker. Yep, nothing special. The villain with trident snickered. Once he hits the water, we'll rip. I am up. Delaware. The green-haired boy flicked his middle finger at the lake with a roar, smash. The lake exploded violently, and the villains cried out in shock as the man-made whirlpool swirled them around toward the eye of the whirlpool. Suyu. Bondo. Bondo jumped board with Suyu and Kanoko on his back as the frog girl catch the falling nerd with her tongue, and the glue student toss over dozen of wet glue balls everywhere. Were getting pulled in. A shark-like villain tried to swim against the current, but it kept push him toward the center. What the hell is that? The fish villain attempted to remove the glue substance off his chest, but it stick on, and the villains also have glue balls sticking together. Before they know it, the villains find themselves stuck together, holding up by the glue, and the weight dragged them down underwater. When you strike the surface of a body of water with sufficient force, it'll spread out, and then converge back into the center. Izuku muttered. Quite the roundup arrest, Suyu said with tongue out as Bondo landed in the water. For the time being, we've toppled the first hurdle. The frog girl kicked her legs to push the giant toward to the edge of the lake. It was very lucky we beamed all of them. Midoriya climbed out of the water as soon as their feet find their way to the swallow's surface. That was an insane gamble we took back there. Normally you'd think they would have had bunch of people hiding underwater. It went on for a while. Stop that mumbling, Midoriya, it's scaring me. The frog girl said bluntly. Anyway, shouldn't we be deciding what to do next? You're right, the nerd nodded at her as they helped Kanoko and Bondo getting out of the lake and onto the shore. I suppose for the time being, our number one priority should be calling for help. If things go our way, we can just follow the waterside to the exit, avoiding the central plaza altogether. Oh yeah, Aizawa-sensei is at the plaza holding back that giant group of villains. Tsuyu muttered. Sensei is naturally planning to keep them under control, but, Izuku nursed his hand, it's not a stretch to think he flew into action in order to protect us and is overextending himself as a result. Wait, are you saying we should? Kanoko looked at him worriedly, Bondo glanced between them worriedly with fidgeting fingers and Tsuyu croaked. I'm not saying we jump into the fray, if that's what you're thinking. He looked at the trio behind him. Let's just see if they have any openings and relieve at least a little of Sensei's burden. The group carefully makes their way to the center plaza. Once they have reached the edge of the plaza from the flood zone, the shaken group froze at the sight of Aizawa lying under a giant black creature. Tell the symbol of peace he's wanted by artificial human, Numu. The paled man crackled sadistically. You can erase quirks. A respectable ability, but there's nothing to it in the end. After all, when faced with overwhelming might, you might as well be quirkless in that situation. Iwasa's free arm twitch before Numu snap his left arm like a twig and lift the scruffy man's head then smash it against the hard ground. WWW what are WW we're gonna do? Kanoko covered her mouth shakily but she never get any response from her fellow students. Shigaraki Tamura, the mist figure formed behind the paled man. Kurogiri, the paled man, Shigaraki, glanced over his shoulder, then are 13 and Vlad dead. I have incapacitated 13, Kurogiri said, however, I'm afraid the students whom I could not scatter impeded me, and he was therefore able to escape with his life. Huh, hua. Shigaraki turned to him with shaken anger. Kurogiri, if you can't be a proper warp gate, then our plans have crumbled. There's no doubt that if they throw dozens of pros at us, we can't win. He bring his hands up with a beep. It's game over, game over, for now. He sighed. Shall we hop back? Does that mean they'll leave? Kanoko whispered softly. Yes, but this is a tad unnerving. Tsuyu glanced at Midoriya. Yeah, they came and did practically nothing. Midoriya bit his lip as he tried to figure these villains out, and just like that, they're pulling back. Actually, before that, Shigaraki slowly turned his torso slightly. Why don't we use this opportunity to take? Suddenly, the paled man was right in front of the shocked group with outstretching hand, the symbol of peace's pride down a notch. Before they can react, his hand was right on Kanoko's face and nothing happened. You really are a cool guy. He glanced over his head to see Aizawa staring at him with blazing eye, Eraserhead. The creature smashed his head down again. Let go of her. Izuku jumped into action, swinging his fist at the paled man. Numu. The paled man uttered and there was a deafening smash. Izuku blinked at his unbroken arm before he discovers that he was standing in front of the black creature with his fist on its torso. Well, whatever, kid, Shigaraki shrugged as the creature was about to attack the boy while Tsuyu's tongue lashed out toward the nerd before he heard a loud crash, following by flying metal doors. Have no fear. The smokescreen parted away to reveal All Might with a furious expression on his face, for I have come. All Might, a student cried out near the gateway. I had a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach. All Might's eyes take a quick study around the area as several students cried out in relief, so I cut the principal's long story short and decided to come check on you all. I happened upon young Iida on my way here. Thanks to him, I heard the gist of what happened. His eyes zoomed onto Shigaraki's group, and now you've really made me angry, seeing just how frightened you made all the kids, seeing how desperately my pupils were giving it their all. However, it's for that reason my chest is welling with pride. It's all right now. He tore his necktie off with a deep scowl, for I'm here. We were waiting for you, hero. Shigaraki mocked. Or should I say, you, hero. Trash. The villains were about to make their move, but All Might vanished from their sights and the henchmen suddenly black out as All Might appeared at Aizawa's side. I apologize, Aizawa. The number one hero picked Aizawa up to see the stage of his injuries as the henchmen's bodies hit the ground and his eyes sharply turn on the paled man's group. In a flash, All Might scooped Izuku's group up in one go and placed them near the stairway to the entrance as he put Aizawa down gently. Head toward the entrance, you guys. I have to leave Aizawa with you. He's unconscious, so hurry. Ah, it's no good. The paled man beeped with shivering shoulders. It turned out that a dismembered hand had fallen off his face during the hero's speedy rescue. He shakily picked the hand up. I'm sorry, father. He attached it to his face. He took the opportunity to hit you while he was saying them. Ha ha ha. He rambled quietly. He wasn't as fast as I expected. Could it be our intel was true after all? About how you're weakening. All Might, stay back. Midoriya warned his idol, that villain with the brain matter. 1-4, I mean, when I punched him, it wasn't enough power to break my arm, but he still didn't even budge. He must be the one who. Midoriya, my boy. All Might flashed him his grin with peace sign over his right eye. It's all right. In a flash, he charged toward the villain group with crossed arms. Carolina, the creature lunged at the number one hero. Smash. His swinging arms hit the creature, but it didn't affect the creature at all, and the number one hero quickly ducked under the roaring creature's swings. I can't believe it. My blows aren't working at all. He drive a fist into the creature, but like before, it barely affect the creature. Look no further than the beast's amazing shock absorption ability. Shigaraki bragged, if you want to deal Numu any damage, it'd be more effective if you slew Owly and steadily scooped out his guts, though him letting you do that is a different story. Thank for telling me. All Might spun around to the creature's back, then wrapped his arms around its torso. If that's all it takes, then don't worry. It'll be a cinch. He lifted the creature backward in a suplex hold, slamming the creature on its back and everything explode. While everything was going down, Midoriya watched on worriedly because he knows something. He knows that All Might was running on fumes and he don't know if it's enough to take care of these villains. Guh. All Might grunted out as Numu's fingers dug into his chest. The creature was right under him within a black mist on ground. You plan to drive him deep into the concrete and seal his movements, right? The paled man chuckled, but you wouldn't have been able to seal him for long anyway. Numu is the same power level as you. Isn't it great, Kurogiri? He handed us the perfect chance on a silver platter. He leered at the downed hero. This was your first mistake. You'd better be ready for some pain. I certainly do have blood and organs inside of me, so it will be a touch displeasurable, but, Kurogiri looked over All Might as he struggled to pry the creature's fingers off. I'll gladly endure it if it's handed out by a man of your stature. It was Numu's duty to restrain your dizzying speed so that I could open a gate while you were in that prone state. It is now my duty to eviscerate you. Midoriya suddenly charged toward to the villains after he handed Aizawa off to Bondo. He can't let these villains take All Might out, not like that. There are so many things he wants to learn from his idol. All Might. Midoriya, my boy. All Might grunted out as Kurogiri spread his mist out toward the running boy. Don't rush in like always. Out of the F*******ing way. A voice roared out of nowhere before Kurogiri quickly avoided a massive explosive. Deku. Kurogiri barely registered it when someone grabbed his metal collar before it slammed him down onto the ground, revealing Katsuki on top of him. At same time, Numu's right side become frozen by ice. I heard about you bastards. Plan. Shoko stepped into their view with blank expression as Shigaraki barely dodged Kirishima's swing. About each of your roles in your scheme to kill All Might. Shit. Kirishima quickly backpedaling away from the paled villain. I had him. No funny business out of you, King Shadow ass Mobling. Katsuki dug her heel into the metal collar with psycho grin. The symbol of peace won't go down as easy as you clowns. Shoko said flatly. Kachan. Izuku stood behind them, everyone. A freeze attack. All Might felt Numu's grip loosen up as his eyes gazed at Shoko in a distance. Was that you, young Todoroki? She has so much precision she was able to freeze him without catching me in it. Thank you, my girl. All Might break himself free, leaping away from the creature. The paled leader stared at the group. You pinned down our revolving door. Well now, this is quite the pinch. Just as I thought, this prick was never all that sharp. Katsuki glanced down at Kurogiri with a smug smirk. That bit on your body you used to get all misty and warp-gatey just got sealed. Mother F asterisk 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 er. You gonna tell me you don't use that warp gate to hide your true body? Huh. The mist villain remained silent. If the shadow mist were your true form and you had no actual body, then why would you have called any attack dangerous? A twitch, don't you move. She pushed her hand down onto the villain's body. The second you so much as twitch, I'll load you with a nice little explosion right here, right now. Not a very heroic line there. Kirishima glanced over his shoulder. We've been cornered, and what's more, you're all nearly unscathed. Shigaraki muttered, man, I have to hand it to the kids these days. At this rate, the villain alliance will be a laughingstock. He glanced at the creature. Numu, go ahead and finish explosion chick over there. We're rescuing our revolving door. The creature slowly stand up as its body snapped in half from the ice and it's slowly twitching toward the group. Wait, how is he moving? Izuku's eyes widened along with the other. Didn't half of his body snap away? Stand back, all of you. All Might threw his right hand out. Wasn't his quirk a shock absorption? I never said that was the full extent of his abilities. The paled man said as the creature regenerated itself. As you can see, he's also got super regeneration. The creature lunged. Numu is a human sandbag artificially crafted to the height of physical fitness in order to withstand your 100%. All Might act faster and in a blink, Katsuki find herself toss over to Izuku's side. Kachan. Izuku pulled a double take. Why you dodged him? Wow. No. UF asterisk 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 ing idiot. Katsuki stared on with widened eyes as the smoke screen clear up to reveal All Might with cross guard, revealing that he took the creature's blow after he tossed the girl to safety. Do you know not mercy? All Might said. We had no choice. The paled man replied and he started to blame the students for acting violent toward his allies, then ramble on crazily as All Might was half listening, trying to hold some blood in his mouth. The symbol of peace. Give me a break. All Might focused again. You're nothing more than a bludgeon of oppression yourself. Violence only breeds more violence. And once we kill you, that'll be made known to the world. You're mad. All Might brought his hands down. You oughta keep your antisocial viewpoints to yourself. Besides, be straight with me. You just want to get in your kicks. You saw through me so quickly. Shigaraki mocked. It's 3 versus 5. Shoko spoke up. And Kachan exposed the shadow guy's weak point. Izuku clenched his fist. These guys are outrageous, but if we give All Might some support, then we'll send them packing no problem. No. All Might barked, please escape. But if I hadn't come to support you earlier, it'd have been bad. Shoko flexed her hand. All Might, you've got blood, Midoriya whispered lowly to his idol, and shouldn't you already be out of time? Right you are, Todoroki, my girl. All Might closed his fist with a snap, thanks a ton. But now I'll be okay. All you need to do is watch a pro show you how it's done. He took a deep breath with closed eyes as the paled villain rushed toward the students and his eyes snap open with pure intent that nearly blow everyone away. With a burst of speed, All Might's fist meet Numu's fist with a booming shockwave. I told you before. Shigaraki hopped away from the group to Kurogiri's side. He has shock absorption. I'm aware. The number 1 hero grinned before he delivered a barrage of punches as it created a storm that nearly sent everyone away from the brawler. It's shock absorption, not total nullification. It must have a limit. No. He was made to withstand my full power. In that case, I'll just give it more than 100. The blows become blurry and the awestruck students can't see his punches at all. A hero is someone who smashes through every obstacle life puts his way. Do you know of what I speak, villain? He pull his left fist back then smash it against the creature with a battle cry, plus ultra. Numu flew through the glass ceiling and out into the sky with a bellow. What is this, a comic book? Kirishima gaped. It's like he pounded the shock absorption out of him. I really have gotten weaker. All Might stretched his arms out with few swings. In my heyday, It'd have take 5 good punches, tops. Now I threw more than 300 of the beepers. He grinned at the villain as the paled man shake with fury. Now then, villain. We both want to put an end to this dance of ours quickly, don't we? You used cheats, Shigaraki beeped angrily. You've gotten weaker. You lie, we're totally overpowered. How dare you lay a hand on my Numu? There's no way you're any weaker now. Did he lie to me? What's the matter? All Might decided to bluff as his time started to running out. Where'd your bravado go? What happened to clearing the game? Try it if you can. Uvoa. The paled man cried out furiously as the number 1 hero take one step closer to them. Shigaraki Tamura, please calm yourself. Kurogiri said gently to his leader. If you look more closely, you can clearly see the damage Numu succeeded in dealing him. He glanced at the students. It would appear the children are rearing away. It's true that reinforcements are certain to make their appearance in mere minutes. However, I tender the proposal, Shigaraki, that if you and I combine our efforts, there might still be ample chance to murder him. Yeah, you're right, Shigaraki muttered calmly as if something flicked a switch inside him. Totally, utterly, on the nose. After all this trouble, how could we fail to defeat the final boss? The group of students was starting to retreat until Shoko noticed something. Midoriya. She gazed at the mumbling nerd, and the next thing she know, Midoriya suddenly throw himself at the two villains as soon as they get closer to All Might. Deku. Katsuki's eyes widened. What the hell is this idiot thinking? So fast. Shigaraki's eye widened at the boy's speed. Let go of All Might. Midoriya roared. He can feel a familiar feeling of his leg bone broke, but he ignore it. Kurogiri quickly bring his rap gate up to redirect the boy's punch, and the paled villain reach out to him. There won't be a second chance. The paled villain said gleefully, only to cry out in pain as a bullet hit the side of his hand, and both villains quickly retreat away from them. So they've finally arrived. All Might twisted his head around to see the staff at the entrance. Sorry, partners. The cowboy hero hoisted his smoking gun up. We're regrettably late. Class 1B President Iida Tenya. The robot-like student called out with pro-heroes around him, reporting for duty. Ah, they came. The paled man screamed childishly. Game over, game over. Our game over screen. Back to the drawing. Rain of bullets fall upon them, courtesy of the cowboy, and Kurogiri attempt to wrap themselves out, but he feel a tug behind his back. Wah! Kurogiri looked back to see injured space hero with his black hole out, but it wasn't fast enough to capture the villains as Kurogiri teleported them out. We'll get you next time. Symbol of peace. The paled man growled deadly before he vanished in the mist, then it disappeared. Midoriya pushed himself up from the ground with low head. I was completely useless. That's not true, young one. He looked up to All Might as his disguise dropped down. The smokescreen blocked his true form from the students. If you hadn't given me those precious seconds, then my head would be rolling right now. You saved me once again, squirt. He chuckled softly at Izuku's teary happy face with dripping snots. Midoriya, you all right? Kirishima run toward them with concern. Kirishima, my boy, your kind heroic spirit shines as brightly as ever. Yagi become alerted, but not now, my boy, not now. Wait, go back, you'll discover my secret. He was thankfully saved by rising cement wall. We want to check all of the students for injuries, so we'll have everyone gather in front of the gate. Smentos lifted his hands up. Leave the injured to the care of your senseis. Yeah, of course. The red-haired boy clenched his fists with a nod. Roger that. He run off to join the group. Thanks, you really saved my hide, Smentos. Yagi released his breath as the cement hero walked up to them. I'm a fan of yours too, All Might. Smentos smiled. Now let's keep your true form hidden and head toward the infirmary. But do try not to overdo it so much next time. If I hadn't gone that far, I'd be a dead man. The skinny man wiped some blood off his shrunken cheek. That's how formidable these new enemies are. He glanced down at Izuku before he noticed his stage. Oh, he passed out. Izuku's eyes flutter open and he noticed All Might lying in a medical bed next to him. All Might. Midoriya, my boy, how you feeling? Yagi sits up with a groan after he talked about his time limit with Recovery Girl. I'm fine, What about you? Midoriya asked before someone entered the room and he looked up to see a detective. All Might, long time no see. The detective smiled. Tsukauchi, is that you? Yagi spit some blood out, so you showed up, too, huh? All Might. Izuku glanced between them worriedly. He know your true form. That's right. The skinny man nodded. It's okay. Why, you ask? For he is Tsukauchi Naomasa, the police officer with whom I am best friends. Ha! What kind of introduction is that? Naomasa chuckled at his best friend. Sorry to be coming at you so suddenly, but I need your testimony about the villains especially. All Might stop him to ask him about the students and pro heroes, which he revealed that the students are fine, aside Midoriya Izuku, and about Aizawa's injuries and 13's stage, which wasn't life-threatening now. Vlad King only get out of it with few minor injuries. Izuku listened to them before Yagi praised the students for their action in the crisis, then they give the detective their testimonies. Thank you. Naomasa closed his notepad with a smile as he make his way out. Yagi, we should get some drinks and do a little catch-up. Ah, sure. Yagi waved at his friend as the cop leave the room and they were able to discuss a bit about the recently events for a good few minutes until Midoriya was cleared to leave. They told him that the school will be closed tomorrow and it'll resume the day after that. I'm glad that you're okay. Itsuka sighed to herself as she walked at Izuku's side through the hallway. It have been a couple days after the USJ attack and the school open up again as if it haven't happened at all. But what you did was so reckless and you are so lucky that you just get out of it with a broken leg. If it wasn't for Recovery Girl, your mother and I will be completely worried about you. I know. Izuku rubbed his neck embarrassingly. You and Mom already scolded me about that after I got back and all day yesterday, but I can't just stand by and do nothing while they were going to attack All Might. Itsuka rubbed her forehead annoyingly. You are going to give me either a gray hair or heart attack, one of these days. Honestly, she thought the slime incident was going to be one-time thing and she prayed to any deities that listening to her that it'll be over for now until the graduation. They enter the classroom and then take their seats while some girls check on Izuku out of concern since he was the only one who has serious injury. Morning. Aizawa walked in with bandages, wrapping from head to toes, and he have his arms in slings. Aizawa-sensei, you're back already. Most students cried out in shock. You're all right, Mina said. Can you really call that all right? Ochako said worriedly. Don't concern yourselves over me. Aizawa stood in front of the podium. First, your homeroom teacher have recovered from the injuries and will start today, along with an assistant teacher. Assistant teacher. Kaoruko blinked. Why? So please welcome your homeroom teacher and assistant teacher. The mummy ignored the blue girl as the door slid open and two people enter the room with different expression on their faces. Wait. Izuku stared at his teachers with comically widened eyes. Hello, class, my name is Sosaki Shino. A young woman, with brown eyes, red whiskers marking under her eyes and red hair styled into 3 bangs, smiled at the students. She wear a metallic cat-like ears gear, a red cheer-like uniform with a golden bell, thigh-high boots with fur, a pair of large cat-like claws and a red tail. Mandalay of wild cats. That is my first year of teaching and I'm looking forward to teach you the heroic foundation, so please be kind to me. She gestured at the dejected assistant teacher. Please introduce yourself to the class. I can't believe I'm doing it, the assistant teacher muttered annoyingly. It's either that or 500 hours of community services to repay the da, Shino smiled. Hello, I'm Takayama Yu. The voluptuous young woman threw out an arm pump with a forced smile. She was wearing her familiar outfit. Mount, lady, nice to meet ya. I'm gonna help Sosaki-sensei out with some paperwork, she muttered under her breath lowly. Paperworks, king hate them. She gazed at the classroom with another sigh until she noticed something that stick out like a red thumb. Oh. Only one boy. Now I'll be leaving. Aizawa walked toward the door. Please don't leave me here. Midoriya pleaded to the mummy with his eyes. He was getting comfortable with the classroom because he was not the only male in the room, and if this teacher leave, Aizawa-sensei. The mummy slowly closed the door with his bandaged head facing the shaking boy, and Izuku swear that he saw a shit-eating grin behind the bandage wrap just right before it closed with a firm click. No. Come back. Now, I have an announcement. The telepath heroine clapped her hands together. UA's sports festival is approaching in few weeks. Izuku barely listened to his homeroom teacher's announcement as he panicking mentally. Why in the world is he in all-female class, and will he survive his class or die from sheer embarrassment? Why me? The bell ring in the classroom, ending the fourth period, and the students get up as soon as Smintos bid farewell. Only one student does not get up, and it's no other than Midoriya Izuku, the only boy in all-female class. The boy have his head down on the desk, muttering, "Why me?" over and over until Itsuka appear at his side, pat his hair gently with an understanding smile. "Izuku, how you holding up?" Itsuka asked. Fine." Izuku looked up to her with a sigh. It's just that. I understand." The orange-haired smiling girl removed her hand from his hair. It's a shock that both homeroom and assistant teachers are female, and Izuku is truly now the only male in class. At least Midnight isn't your homeroom sensei. There's a silver lining in Cloud. Why yeah. The sweating nerd gulped before he noticed that some girls were talking eagerly about the upcoming sport festival that will take place in few weeks from now. Wow, everyone's so pumped. Yeah, because everyone knows that if you stand out during the sport festival, you'll get some attention from pro and a lot of offers. Itsuka glanced at the group. That sure will get you fired up. Of course, but, Izuku glanced at his childhood friend nervously. Deku, Kendo, both friends turned to Ochako before she lifted her head up to reveal an evil grin with dangerous glint in her eyes, a dark aura surround her. Let's crush it. The sport festival. Whoa, your face, Uraraka. Izuku yelped, your face. What's up with her? Mina raised her eyebrow. Uraraka's being, kinda, not Uraraka. Guys. Ochako pumped her fist up with every word. I'm gonna go for it. Your character is going up and away. Setsuna's sweat dropped nervously. What in the world is happening to this sweet girl? Izuku and Itsuka trade worried look with each other. For money. Itsuka walked with Ochako and Izuku to cafeteria. You wanna be a hero for the money? Yeah, I guess, ultimately. The gravity girl scratched her head bashfully. Man, sorry, I know it sounds lame. She cupped her burning cheeks, like I'm not being pure as a hero. I'm embarrassed. Well, though it is unexpected, Midoriya peeked out from Itsuka's side. Is it for comfortable life or? I'm working at our construction company, but, Ochako ran hands across her hairs, there's just no real work out there, so we're flat broke. I probably shouldn't telling anyone about things like this, but. Construction. Itsuka blinked. With a quirk like yours, if you could get permission anywhere, it'd be super economical. The nerd cupped his chin. I know, right? Ochako shoot her fingers at him. That's what I told my dad. But, she can remember her dad telling her something when she was little before she looked into their eyes firmly. I'm going to become a hero and earn money, without fail, and I'm going to give my mom and dad the easy life they deserve. The childhood friends felt impressive with her goal, and Itsuka was about to say something. Ooh, All Might suddenly appeared right around the corner as they jumped up in air. There you are, Midoriya, my boy. Would you care to? He lift up a wrapped bento up with right hand on his chest. Eat your rice with me. You sound like a teenage girl. The gravity girl spit laughing at the sight. Sure. Izuku blinked slowly before he gave the girls a wave as he joins All Might for lunch, and the girls resume their walk. What's going on with Deku? Ochako asked Itsuka. I don't know. She shrugged her shoulders. It probably has something to do with his action during the USJ attack, or he might take some interest in him because of their super strength. She didn't notice that Shoko was standing in front of her in the line or a flick of her eyes. Hey, Itsuka, I want to ask you something. The gravity girl grabbed her lunch tray with Itsuka. Shoot. The martial artist nodded. What make you want to be a hero? Ochako asked curiously. That may sound a little cliché. Itsuka scratched her cheek with index finger slightly embarrassingly. I always want to be one since I was little because I want to help people and stop villains from hurting any innocents. That's how it is. She shrugged her shoulders, then she laughed lightly as some memories come to her. You should have seen me back then. I always run around some playground, looking for bad guys, so I can stop them. That's how I met Izuku. He was being picked on by Bakugo and some kids, so I just jump right in and stand up to them. Ah, that's so cute. The gravity girl can picture young Itsuka standing in front with crossed arms and stoic face on her face while young Deku sniffle behind her back. I wonder why they were picked. Oh, never mind. She just remembered that Izuku's a late bloomer and they sat down at an empty lunch table to eat their lunch. About the sport festival, do you think they talked about sport festival and random topics until the end of lunch? The school day have officially ended with a ringing of final bell and Izuku put his stuff away with a soft exhaling sigh. He can't wait to go home and lie down on his bed after today. He feel a little pressured from his conversation with All Might about the festival. He need to figure out how to make himself stand out to the world. Woo-ah. He looked up to see Ochako taking a step back from the open door bewilderingly. What the heck? Izuku snatch his backpack up then peek over her shoulder out of curiosity before his eyes nearly pop out. In front of Class 1A is a mob of students and they were looking inside the room as if they were at some zoo exhibit. Why are they crowding around? Kami wondered. They're scoping out the competition. F********************************** retard. Katsuki walked past her up to the crowd. They wanna see the gang who came through the villain ambush. They're checking us out before the big battle, asshole. Wah, Prez, she's being a meanie. The wailing attractive pulled the yelping boy in a tight hug, pressing her chest up against the side of his head. Izuku stuttered violently, red fill his body like a lobster. He's hugging a girl. Katsuki's eyebrow twitched with fury and she decided to take it out on the crowd in front of her. It's pointless to try, so why don't you just off, ya goddamn mob. Bakugo. Abara looked at her back disapprovingly. I came to see what you kids are made of, true, but I didn't think you'd be this arrogant. A purple-haired teenager with sleepy eyes stepped out in front of the crowd as he rubbed his neck lazily. Are all kids enrolled at the Department of Heroics this way? I'm a bit disillusioned. So that's it, huh? He gazed at the fuming. There's lots of kids who wind up in the general education or other departments because they failed the Heroics one. He tilted his head slightly. Did you know that? Based on the results of the sports festival, people can be even come under review to be transferred to Heroics. And the reverse is also a possible outcome, scoping out the competition. The sleepy boy snorted lightly. If nothing else, a general ed kid like me is thinking, hey, why don't I try pulling the rug out from under those Heroics kids while they're on their high horses? He jammed his hands into his pockets. Consider it as a declaration of war. This kid is just as in your face, several female students thought together. Hey, you. A male student suddenly jumps up with raised hand and scowl on his face. Itsuka immediately realized him from the USJ attack, Tetsu. I'm from Class B, we also were there at the USJ when it went down, so why everyone gathering around in front of Class A? What the hell, you all better not mess with Class B during the main event. We're here to see if the rumors are true. A random student speak up somewhere from the mob, that there's a guy with harem for class. The Class 1A students blinked owlishly and Izuku raised his eyebrow puzzlingly. Yeah, we want to see what harem king look like. Another student said. They said that he have some quirk that attracts women to him. A harem quirk? Don't be crazy. It's so obvious that someone bribed the person to put him in class with all female. No, it's because he have some connection in high place. What do you think he look like? I heard that he's a bald bodybuilder. No, he look like a nerd but with big W. What the hell rumors is that? Jiro dropped her jaw. The students come here just because of a rumor, not because of the ambush. Who the F*** spread these rumors? There were a couple of sneezes somewhere within the mob and they glance at the source to see Mineta and Kaminari. Actually, I think I know who's did it. Toru glared at the ed student along with her classmates. She told them what happened during the ambush and let's say that the girls don't want to be near this guy ever. Some decided to stay away from him before this event when he tried to took Izuku's pant off for a stupid reason. The F*******. Katsuki gritted her teeth angrily. You all think we're this type of bitches who giggle and fooling around with F********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** ****ing heroes. Whoever say these shits better not F*** king cross me during the festival or I'm gonna F*** you up that you have to drink shits through a damn straw. Her blazing eyes zoomed onto the shivering culprits before her eyes sharply turned to the mob. You goddamn mob. F*** off and tell anyone that there is F*** king no harem here. I mean, look at this F*** king Deku. She jabbed her thumb at Izuku as he squeaked out once everyone looked at him. This F*** is a F*** king wimp who keep lose his shits around bitches. Well, looks like the rumors were false. Some students leaved with a mutter. He look like he'll going to shrivel up. Totally not my type. Ah, that's kinda disappointing. But hey, did you see the knockers on this? Let's check the class 1B out. The mob breaks apart to some relief. Oh, let me take a look and see. Mineta inched closer to the classroom with drool, only to scream out as Katsuki kicked his crotch squarely, sending him flying down the hallway. Go F*** king die. The violent girl stomped away, leaving the classmates behind. So there were rumors about us going on around, huh? Reiko drawled slowly. Mostly about Midori. Mina chuckled with hands on the back of her head, but that's totally impossible. I mean, he's cute and adorable but he's hella shy that he can't make a move on girls until it's a villainous. She glanced at the said boy over her shoulder as he waited for Itsuka at the doorway with Ochako. Cute and adorable, Setsuna elbowed her with wiggling eyebrows. It's true. The pink girl smirked. You would say the same thing. The green-haired girl opens her mouth for a moment then she closes it with a light hum. Itsuka, you ready to go? Ochako asked her as the said girl approached them. Yup. Itsuka waved at Yui as they leave the class and out of the building. Hey, wait up. The trio noticed Pony jogging up to them with her book bag and she stopped in front of them. Izuku, I've been meant to ask you a favor but stuff keeps coming up. The American clapped her hands together with a timid smile. Can you teach me Japanese? I want to get better at it so I can chat with the girls and understand better. Sure, I will. Izuku nodded and Pony beamed at him. Great. The foreigner just blindsided him with a glomp before she breaks it immediately as she fished her smartphone out with wide smile. Phone number, trade. What's up? Itsuka asked Izuku curiously. Oh, she asked me if I can teach her Japanese and I agreed to help her out. Izuku answered as he exchanged numbers with Happy Horse-themed girl before his face turned red as soon as he realized his action. Did he just exchange numbers with a new girl just right after they met? He had Itsuka and his parent as contacts. Ooh, trading digits. Kami suddenly appeared at their side, nearly caused her classmates to jump out of their skin before she whipped her phone out. I want in. Here's my digits. Ah, I haven't give my number to you and Deku. Ochako snapped her fingers in realization before she take her phone out and share with Itsuka and the group. And there he go. Itsuka's sweat dropped at Izuku because the poor boy's mind just crashed from increasing his contact list. At least, he's making some friend. The martial artist don't understand why it bother her in a small way. I'm home, Mom. Izuku removed his shoes at the foyer as he locked the door behind him and the boy walked into the living room to see Inko on a home phone, wondering who she is talking to right now. Izu's home. I'm going to give the phone to him. Inko said happily before she handed it to the confusing boy. It's your father. Dad. The hero nerd's eyes lit up before he take it from his smiling mother. Hey, Dad. It have been a while. How's Germany? Hey, kiddo. A voice chuckled on the other line. It's nice so far but I don't get out around much because of the job. How are you? You doing all right? I just heard about the villain ambush from your mother and she said that you're okay but. Oh, I'm fine. Perfectly fine. Izuku waved it off, despite the fact that his father can't see him right now. Everyone make it out safety and sound. The pro heroes were there and All Might was there to help us. Ah, I see. His father exhaled out. I'm glad to hear that you're fine as you said and I should be thankful to these guys. There was a small pause before he sighed again. I'm still having hard time believing that you have a quirk now after all these years and you just got in UA. Barely, and with a glass cannon quirk of yours. Izuku chuckled nervously. Everyone kept calling it a glass cannon so much that he'll think they might name his quirk glass cannon. Yeah, me either. The hero nerd rubbed his head sheepishly. Gee, they said that I'll be able to control it one day if I keep training and get better grip on this quirk. If you say so. The voice hummed lightly. Anyway, how was your first week of high school there, aside this ambush? How are you doing in your class? Did you make any friends? Oh, it's really good so far and I make some friends. Izuku chuckled nervously with cold sweats. He hasn't told his parent about his class yet and there is no way he's going to tell them because they might tease him or become overprotective like before. He'll carry this secret to the grave or hold it out until the second year come around. Izuku talked to his father for a while, omitting some details about his class, then handed the phone back to his mother and went to his room to do some homework before dinner. Before we start play volleyball, we will do some little warm-up. Shino said as soon as her class gathers in front of her, wearing their gym uniforms. Pair up, we will do 20 sit-up first then 20 push-up, following by toe touch stretch. Midoriya, would you like to be partner with me? The said boy nearly got startled when Obara asked. Sure. Izuku blinked. He haven't interacted with most of his classmates but it was pretty understandable because it's the second week of school and he want to put in some effort as the class president and fellow students. He was surprised that Obara come up to him and asked him to be her partner, despite the lack of their interaction. Do you want to start first or? You go first. She gestured at the mat and Izuku lie down as she kneels in front of his legs, holding them down. He starts his representative and after few sits, he becomes very awkward every time he look at her passive face. Is that where he says something or does he have to stay quiet and finish his representative? To be honest, that is his first time partnering up with someone for warm-up and he doesn't kn. How are your legs? Oh, good. Izuku replied with a stutter as he performed his 10th sit-up. It's healed completely, thank to recovery girl. All I did was just rest and take it easy for a day. Thank for asking. It was already healed the day before the school reopened after the USJ incident. That's good to hear that. Obara nodded lightly. I was worried if you feel some lingering pain in your legs. I'm glad you're healthy now. She paused as the nerd reached 15. Are you comfortable now? Her comment drew a confusing blink from him. With the class, are you comfortable now? I mean, you were very jittery last week, aside the heroic training and ambush. Kinda. The stuttering nerd completed his representative then they switched their place. I'm little comfortable BB because my friends are in our class but I'm jittery because that's how I am. Like Itsuka said during my introduction, he winced at a certain embarrassing memory. You're odd. The vine-haired girl start her representative as her head get closer to his face and the blushing boy squeak out at their closeness, his eyes quickly avert to somewhere else from her. You don't act like that during the heroic training and USJ incidents. I assumed that it's your true personality. Oh, I guess it's because of some situations. Izuku said lamely. When I see someone in danger and need help, my body just move on its own, like hero. It's like I have a switch in my head and it just flick, you know. I think I can understand that. Obara replied, appearing to be acceptable with his response. She stood up with him as soon as she completed her representative and she looked down at him. I hope we'll get along. So please be more comfortable around me. I'll try. He replied with a timid smile and she gave him a gentle smile before they start their push-up reps. The students exited their class for a little stretch between periods and the nerd reviewed some of his class notes to make sure that he understands the lesson. Midoriya, right, his head jolted up to the voice, revealing to be Shino as you collected some papers with a grumble. Hi, Tatsuma-sensei. Izuku confirmed with a timid nod. Can you please help us carrying some of the stack over there to the teacher's office? She pointed at a stack of papers and some books. Oh, sure. The nerd gets up then picked them up as his senseis took their stacks and he follows them out of the class. It was so quiet, aside idle chatters from some students as they walk past, until one of his senseis break it. Say, have we met before? You narrowed her eyes at the green-haired boy, her brows furrowed heavily. This boy looks so familiar but she can't put her finger on it. No. maybe why you saw me in PP passing. Izuku suggested. Maybe. The blonde heroine gave him another glance, then back to the hallway, and the group walked for a bit until her head sharply jerked to him with a cry, her index finger pointed right into his face. You're that foolish boy from the slime villain incident. The one WHO ran in. Oh. The widened-eyed nerd yelped. He didn't notice this woman there at this time because he was depressed at this time and didn't pay attention to the surrounding. Oh, Shino arched her eyebrow at them calmly. You two had met each other before. In passing. You scowled. There was a hostage situation. A villain possessed a female student with dangerous quirk and the pro-heroes can't do anything about it because we don't have a quirk to counter her quirk at this time. This foolish stupid boy here, she pointed at the gulping boy as he shuffled nervously, ran into the scene and threw himself on the villain to save this girl before All Might step in. What he did was so reckless and stupid because he don't have. Wait a second. She blinked few times as she realized something before she slowly turned to the nervous boy. I thought you said you're quirkless. Quirkless. The telepath heroine blinked surprisingly. I'm LLLL late BBBBB bloomer. Izuku scratched his head with free hand with shaking knees, a sheepish nervous laugh escaped his lip. Oh, the woman stared at him for a moment before she looks away from him with an annoying huff, but still, what you did was the most moronic and riskiest thing ever. She threw a stink eye at him. You better not do anything crazy again like this slime incident. I already did. The nerd gulped with a sweat drop. It appears that she didn't get any report on the USJ ambush. If you ask me, I think that was brave of him. Shino said to you. You gave her a strange look. He saw someone in danger and act on it, despite the fact that his quirk didn't manifest it at this time. The redhead looked at Izuku with a kind smile, one of commendable heroic traits. You'll make a splendid hero when you become pro-hero. Thank you. Izuku replied, tears flow out from his eyes comically like waterwork. That is the second time a hero praised him for his act and his homeroom sensei is so nice. Why the hell is he crying for? You directed her strange look at the crying boy, all Shino did was just compliment him. GG good morning, Midoriya. The said nerd turned around with a blink to see Kanoko. Good morning, KK Komori. Izuku returned her greeting with a timid smile. How are you? I'm fine, thank you for asking. The mushroom-haired girl replied meekly before she dig into her bag. I have something for you. She take a small container out then hold it out to him. I made some cookies as a token of gratitude for the other day. I just gave 2 boxes to Asui and Bondo early. FF for me. The nerd glanced between the container and her timidly as she answered it with a nod. Really, you sure? Why yes, I insist. Kanoko nodded again and Izuku received it sheepishly as she rubbed her left arm. It's chocolate chip cookies by the way. I'm not sure if you have a preference but I hope you like them. No, I like chocolate chip cookies. Izuku waved it off in rapid motion as he stowed it into his bag. I'll eat some at lunch. Then return your